Well, hello everyone out there in YouTube and Facebook land. My name's Rick Farron, and we're coming to you tonight from the world headquarters of the Six Greens right up here in Boston. Well, we call it the apostate capital of the world, and we're glad that you're coming in tonight. My goodness, I am so happy to see so many people coming in here on Memorial Day. And I hope it's all going well for you. I hope you're enjoying your weekend thus far. Boy, it certainly is coming up fast. Well, this is the beginning of summer. And, when we were Jehovah's Witnesses, we really couldn't celebrate holidays, right? And, you didn't know, you lost kind of your focus on time. But here we go. We're going into supposedly the first weekend of summer. And I hope that all is going well for you. As I say, I know the witnesses, they got the convention started. Well, they generally start right around now, and they started last week. So we're now starting to get information coming forth from the Jehovah's Witness conventions. And we're going to talk about some of that tonight. So stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Well, we got a lot of things we'll be discussing. We've been doing this, as I say, for 20 years. But this is a different venue, a different ball game than it was 20 years ago. I have to honestly tell you that. We are seeing so many things taking place in the world of the Jehovah's Witnesses, and it's a good thing. Nothing good is happening for them, friends. They have a very tarnished image. The Watchtower organization is in free fall, as we say, every Saturday night. And I've got more facts here tonight to prove it to you. And at the end of the program tonight, we'll be having our duck game once again. We got Nadine out in California. She's won $200 on our duck game, and congratulations to her. So by all means, stay with us. And I think we'll have some fun here tonight. We can get some people calling in. I'm going to put the telephone numbers up on YouTube and Facebook. So give me a second to do that. Let me see if I can't get that up now. So if you want to call in a little bit, you can do that. Let me just get everything up, the telephone numbers, and I think you'll find that the callers tonight calling in, as always, people really, really enjoy the callers, and you can be one of them. So if you can muster up the courage and come on tonight, we'd love to have you call into the program and voice your concerns on how you have been touched by the tentacles, that is, of the Watchtower. All right, I'm just going to bring up a couple of things here that caught my attention. And how could you help not notice the Watchtower tanking? I don't care if you're pimo or you're pime, one that's a loyal witness, rank and file member, even an elder out there. I don't know how you really can just ignore it. Don't you see it? I mean, am I looking through rose-colored glasses or what? But this Watchtower organization, they are in trouble. In fact, I'll tell you, do you get on Reddit at all? Do you get on JWN? Do you watch some of the YouTube videos on the Jehovah's Witnesses? Well, if you do, you're going to see that right now, more than ever, and I've been doing this, like I say, for 20 years, there is so many people coming out of the organization. It's unbelievable. And, there's people leaving left and right. And you ask yourself, well, why is this happening? Well, it was happening because the Watchtower is making a lot of mistakes right now, and they realize there's a lot of people that no longer believe what's going on in the Watchtower teachings. So the Watchtower governing body members, they're noticing this as well. But if you're in a congregation, and suppose you're an active witness, and we do have them listening in here live, if you're an active witness and you're sitting in a congregation, and all of a sudden you go to the meeting, and where's Sister Jones? Where's Brother Smith? Where's Brother Zealous? Where's Sister Faith? I mean, you'd start wondering, wouldn't you? You'd say, where are they? Why are there so many empty seats? Don't think people haven't been noticing this. If you do, you're not thinking straight. Even though the witnesses have a hard time thinking, they're seeing it. They're seeing the empty seats. They're going to the convention. They're seeing the empty seats at the convention. And this is not me just bloviating here. This is a fact. You see it all over. Everyone's talking about it. And they're even talking about it in the congregation. and we're going to get to that in just a second, well, a minute or two, concerning the convention. Did you see that video of the convention that's been put out so far? Last week it came up on the internet, and I'm going to play a portion of it here shortly. But all of a sudden, the Watchtower is admitting that there are people in the congregation that aren't loyal, and you have to be very careful of these people. They're going to try to give you some information that's false. Don't listen to them. Run away from them. Even though what they're saying might sound reasonable, don't listen to them. So the Watchtower is paranoid. It's unreal. A lot of Jehovah's Witnesses are noticing this. They're really beginning to feel that something is amiss. And the governing body is desperate. They are desperate. You can see it. You can see it with what some of these forums are talking. You can see it when you get into JW Online and watch their streaming. These are desperate people speaking. They're trying to make these programs very upbeat and, wow, this is wonderful for the witnesses. But many witnesses are watching and say, you bunch of buffoons. This is crazy. Now, what's happening? I've been getting information coming into the 6 screens. There's families. There's family members. Now, no one wants to come out and be the icebreaker. No one wants to come out and say, hey, Mom, I don't want to be a witness anymore. Hey, Dad, I'm giving up. Gee, who's going to do that? That's instant suicide, really, spiritual death, so to speak. But this is happening. All of a sudden, family members are getting very bold, and they're speaking up, and they're saying, hey, we don't want this anymore. And then what happens? Someone's going to break the ice, and then all of a sudden, the mother, the father, the sister, well, I kind of feel that way too. And the Watchtower is seeing this. Can you imagine the pickle that they are in? Do you think that they could feel great about this? Absolutely not. So the witnesses know something is amiss. And the governing body right now, they're desperately trying to plug all the holes. But friends, there's too many holes. There's too many holes. They don't have enough fingers to plug all the holes. There's too many holes in the Watchtower right now. People are seeing right through it. The rank and file, they know something is up, and they're actually realizing the organization is no longer telling them the truth, that this is what we see. Many witnesses are saying, geez, I, for many years, have been one of Jehovah's Witnesses, but I no longer feel that this is the truth. There's something desperately wrong. The severity of these consequences is creating some real havoc with the governing body. Many governing body members, and you can see it when you go on JW streaming. They're desperate looking. They're really speaking forked tongues here out of two sides of their mouth, so to speak. They're telling you how great it is, how wonderful it is, but yet at the same time, some of these videos that you're seeing, they seem to be talking a lot all the time about apostasy, and people are no longer wanting to, be loyal to the witness world, and don't listen to them. And that's going to be the video we're going to talk about here very, very shortly. So I just wanted to give you a little heads up on what's going on. The collapse of the Watchtower is taking place as we speak. Many Jehovah's Witnesses are going to be shocked. They're going to be shocked as they see their faith in the Watchtower deteriorate. The entire support system that the witnesses have had right now is being ripped under them. They no longer feel like, boy, the Watchtower is being directed by Jehovah. Who's directing the Watchtower? Who are these men? They don't really know what to do, many of them. That's why we call them pimos. They're physically in, mentally out. But I have to tell you, maybe you're going to get a call shortly. Maybe you're going to get a call shortly from one of your relatives. I've got it from mine. I got a number of relatives of mine call me and say, Rick, they've seen me on YouTube. They've seen me on Facebook. And we're with you, Rick. We're with you, Uncle Rick. I can't tell you exactly who these people are because I don't want to get them in trouble. But I've had a number of my relatives who have been hardcore witnesses throw the towel in the last couple of years. Now, that's going to happen for you too. I don't want you to think it's not. And what are you going to say? Well, what are you going to say when someone that hasn't talked to you for 15, 20 years, what in goodness name's sake are you going to say to them? Now, you're going to be mad? Well, the first reaction, the first emotion you probably would have is, I'm mad. They wouldn't talk to me. I'm not going to talk to them. I'm just going to hang up on them. No, don't do that. Listen to what they're saying. And, it's not easy to eat crow. It's not. So now they're finding out that you, the apostate, you were the one that was right for many years, and they never listened. But now they're finding out themselves. So when they call you, be kind, be nice, show some love, show some concern. And I mean, just picture this. It's going to be, you're going to have mixed emotions, right? First of all, you got someone that hasn't talked to you for 20 years in some cases, maybe even more than that. At the same time, you're really so glad they're calling. Boy, you want to talk about mixed emotions. Now, did you ever experience mixed emotions? I got a little joke to tell you. Yeah, mixed emotions. My definition of mixed emotions is your mother-in-law driving over a cliff in your new Cadillac. Well, that's mixed emotions. It's the same thing that the witnesses that you'd feel if they call you up, right? You're happy, but you say, oh, that bum, they haven't spoken to me for years. Listen to these people. You're going to help them. They're hurting. There's so many Jehovah's Witnesses right now hurting. And we're starting to get pictures in from conventions. The seats, they're not full. It's not like conventions you used to go 2 years ago. They're not full at all. The conventions are really tanking. And the Jehovah's Witnesses know it. A lot of the big arenas that the Jehovah's Witnesses held conventions in years past, Yankee Stadium, Fenway Park, Comiskey Field out in Chicago. All of these places, they had conventions, big racetracks. They no longer do that. They're having conventions in assembly halls. They're having conventions in rented hotel rooms, like in conference centers. But it's not like it used to be. So how is it the Watchtower can actually think that the witnesses aren't noticing this? This organization has always been so controlling. But, I at times think the Watchtower, I at times think the governing body thinks that the rank and file is stupid. I really do. How is it they feel they can pull the wool over people's eyes and constantly get away with it? Well, boy, people are waking up, and I am so happy. I don't know what it is. I talk about this adrenaline rush. Do you guys ever get that? You don't really have reasons to be super happy, but all of a sudden you get this really good feeling. I've been getting that a lot lately, and I'm attributing it. What I'm really attributing it to is the real lack of luster I see in the Watchtower organization. That there's something about that makes me joyful. Now, I'm not gleeing. I don't want to see people hurt, but I feel really good that this nasty organization is being exposed. Did you hear the call we had last week? I'm not going to go into it too deep, but we had an unbelievable guest on last week. Her name is Star. And Star Pal, that's her full name. She was trafficked, sexually trafficked in the Watchtower organization when she was a young girl. She was only, I think she said, 8 years old. And witnesses, I'm saying Jehovah's Witnesses, picked this young girl up, drugged her, took her to a motel, and sexually abused her, a little 8-year-old girl. She was on last week. If you didn't hear it, go to my YouTube channel and watch that last week episode. That was shocking. In fact, a lot of people have written me, and they've even called me and said, Rick, I couldn't listen to Star. It was just too horrific. But if you have the the wherewithal to do it, and he can stand it, listen to that call. And now we have the convention. We got the convention coming up, the Still Alive in 2025 convention. That's coming up here in the Boston area. That's going to be August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Star is going to have a talk there. A Saturday afternoon, she's going to have a talk at 4 o'clock on how she was trafficked in the Watchtower. Now, I know there's some people out there listening. Rick, you believe that? Yes, I do believe it. Because I'll tell you what, if you watch that video last week, if you watch last week's program, right after Patel was still, I say Patel, her name was Pal. Her name was Star Pal. Right after Star, well, she was still on, and the lawyer, Travis Walker out of Florida, he came on with us, and he was on with us for an hour, and he was telling us all about the tactics in the Watchtower, all about how devious they are, and what they would do to really get their message across, whether they lie, whether they have to spend money. It was unbelievable having him on. We want to thank Travis for coming on with us. So, friends, these are not, when we first started the 6 screens 20 years ago, well, what we did is we wanted everyone to have a voice. Now, I know the 6 screens get the bad rap. Reddit doesn't care for us. JWN doesn't care for us. We got a bad rap because we were the first years ago to talk about some of the most heinous, evil things that go on in the Watchtower, from sexual abuse to satanic ritual abuse to false prophecies, everything you can possibly think of. Everybody has a voice, and we've always allowed that here in the 6 screens. Not everybody does it, so you're going to hear things you never heard before here on the 6 screens telenetwork. Okay, so about the convention, I'm not going to get too much into it, but you can see it scrolling across the bottom. If you go to our YouTube channel, actually, go to our Facebook is the best thing to do. Not Facebook, but our website. Go to our website, 6screensofthewatchtower.com. Punch in there. You see it right on the first page. The opening page, you'll see trending now. It talks about the convention. It gives you some information about the convention. It's going to be a 3-day convention. I hope you can make it. I really do. It'll be worth your while. Make your trek up here to Boston, and it'll be worth your while. We've got room for about 500 people. We got over 300 now that are coming. We have a main auditorium. It holds 300 seats. So, get a ticket as soon as you can. I'd love to have you sit in the main auditorium. If not, you can sit. We have a little space, a good sized room right next to the auditorium. We'll leave the doors open. You can look in, unless some big screen TVs, you'll be able to look in, but write as quickly as you can so you can get a secured seat in the main auditorium. So do that. Write me at jwworldnews@gmail.com and you'll get a ticket. I'll send you a ticket email and it'll be numbered. They're free. The tickets are free. And you will come here and you are going to be so enlightened. You are going to be enriched. You're going to be leaving 10 feet tall. You're going to be hitting your head on the doorpost on the way out, as we say. And the reason why, why are you on here tonight? You're on here tonight. You're listening to this program because this suits your fancy. This program that I'm doing right now connects with you. You hear me talking about things that you connect with me to. And when callers call in, you connect with that. How would it be to be with 400, 500, 600 people that have the same feelings? They're our real brothers and sisters. These are ex-witnesses. They're our real brothers and sisters. Boy, what a time we'll have. I'm projecting that at the end of the convention, people aren't going to want to go home. Now, you might even want to make it a vacation. You want to come up here to Boston. I talked to a number of people in the last month. They've never been up in New England. If you haven't been to New England, pack the kids in the car, drive up here to New England. You will be amazed. We got a beautiful state. I live in Massachusetts, but New England's a beautiful area in the country. We got mountains. We got the ocean. We got history. Do you like history? Hey, this is where it all started. The Revolutionary War, right here in Massachusetts, 20 miles from where I sit right now. You might want to take the children there, or your husband and wife, take a little tour. Now, how about the mountains? You love the mountains? We got the White Mountains of New Hampshire, about 125, 50 miles away. You love the beaches? We got plenty of beach. But also the food. If you love good food, it's worth coming to Boston. You like Italian food? You like seafood? Oh, my goodness. People come up here, they say, Rick, this is the best food I've had in my life, right up there in Boston. So see what you can't do. See what you can't do to come up here. You won't be disappointed. Now, what we're going to do is a 3-day convention. Now, if you want to stay, we're going to be making some day trips. I'm going to take a little time off from work myself. We're going to take some day trips. We'll take a ride around Boston. If you can stay, we'll have little tours. We'll have some fun together. Go out to eat together. I'll bring you to our new studio in Lowell, Massachusetts. It's not this studio that I have right here. I'm making a brand new one. And you can come down there if you're around on Saturday night after the convention. The following Saturday, if you're still here, come down and we can join us live on our program. So we're looking forward to all of this. It's going to be great. So many people have been writing me saying, Rick, I'm coming to the convention. So anyways, it'll be the first of its kind. It'll be a history-making moment. All right. So, I don't want to over-promote it, but I'm really excited. And the people have been calling me. I talked to 10 people this week. I've been sending tickets out like crazy. And if you want to speak at the convention, if you really have been upset by the Watchtower, if these bums really made your life totally miserable, we want to hear about it. Now, that sounds crazy, right? But I want the world to know, and we're going to get a lot of publicity. They're going to be filming a movie up here. It's going to be it's an international video film from Spain. These people are coming up. They've already booked their room at the Hilton Hotel. They're sending a film crew. And if anyone wants to be interviewed for this movie or video documentary, well, by all means, let me know, because they're looking for people to be interviewed and be in this film. And basically what they're concentrating on is the ex-witnesses and how they cope. How is it that they left? Why did they leave? How are they faring once they left the Watchtower? That's what this film is going to be all about. So if you want to be in the film, let me know. Write me at jwworldnews@gmail.com. We'll get you in the film. We'll make you a movie star. Come in, tell your story. So by all means, get a hold of me. Isn't that exciting? Plus, I'm sure if we can get to 300 to 500 people, which I'm projecting, we'll get the Boston Globe, maybe even the New York Times. We'll get the newspapers. We'll get the local news stations, maybe even national news stations. It all is in numbers. This is a history-making event. This has never been done like this before. So we get something brand new. It's going to get the press's attention. And who knows? This could really kick off something big. This could be the start of something big. And, we've been projecting right along here. When is the mass exodus really going to kick in? We have so many pimos right now. How many pimos do you think there are? You say, well, Rick, what's a pimo? Well, a pimo is a person who is going to the meetings, Jehovah's Witness meetings. They really don't believe it. They're mentally in, but physically out. I got some dinging going on here. Let me just make sure. All right, we got 2 messages. Let me just make sure. All right, just people texting me and they're listening to the program, but I can't really read all the text right now. But anyways, let's just talk about that for a second. How many PIMOs do you think there are in the Watchtower organization? Well, I've been doing a survey here for the last couple of years, and that seems to be all you hear in the ex-witness world. PIMO, PIMO, PIMO. It's an acronym. Physically in, mentally out. Okay? So, anyways, just to give you an idea, there's probably 4 million. That's what we come up with. Does someone want to speak up? Go ahead. You run with us. Chicago, you run with us. Go ahead. Okay, maybe not.
Oh, Brother Farron, I just had
Okay,
can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yep.
Okay, I just had a quick answer. I feel like about half of the number of the so-called active witnesses are pimo. I really think half of them are pimo. I think they're going through the motions, especially the younger ones, because just like me and a lot of the born in, what choice do you have? So you pretty much have to do it. And I think the older ones, they've seen of the things that they were taught in decades of sitting in those meetings, and then none of it has come to pass. Even the literature that was basically treated like it came straight from God is now, destroyed. Can't even access it. You bring it up, they'll tell you it's apostate, material. So I personally think about half the witnesses, whatever the actual number is, the real number of witnesses, I think if you cut that in half, that's going to be about the number of PMOs.
Well, you know something, Stefan? Nobody knows for sure, so I'm not going to step out and say, "Well, you got it for sure, Stefan." I don't know that, but a lot of people have written me and said, "Rick, half of the Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe this anymore." So let's just go with this. The Watchtower is saying they have 9 million people. Whether they do or not, that's beside the point. But let's say half of those. So say 4.5 million. Let's even cut it back to 3 million. Imagine, I'm sure there's 3 million PMOs. This is a time bomb ready to happen. Eventually, they're all going to be pushed over the edge. And once they start leaving the Watchtower in droves, there's going to be so many people that will leave at the same time. So anyways, I just wanted to bring that up. But thank you, Stefan, for bringing that to my attention.
Can I make one more comment?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. I when you first started talking and you were talking about how Watchtower is in free fall, and I typically always agree with you. I did hear a little bit of some of the videos. I guess there's some awful talk out there on this new convention. And it was basically saying not to listen to apostates and all the rest of that. To put it in an old football analogy, I'm an old football guy. Sometimes you'll see a game and, a team will come out and they just come out gangbusters. They score one touchdown, score another touchdown, you look up, they're up 21-0, right? And then all of a sudden, just before halftime, the other team that's in the deficit, they score a touchdown. And you kind of think, I hope my team's going to win here. Then they come out at halftime, and that same team, they score again. All of a sudden, you see what's called a momentum change or momentum shift. And what you'll see 9 times out of 10 as a game goes on, the first team that had all the points, they are now no longer playing to win. They are just trying to hold on until the clock sets to 0. The other team, they're playing to win. And 9 times out of 10, they actually wound up winning. And I could not help but when I saw that awful video where they're trying to teach witnesses, don't listen to anything. Oh, they're trying to take you away from Jehovah and blah, blah, blah. And I said to myself, Watchtower's cooked. They're done. To put it back in that same football analogy, they are no longer playing to win. They are just holding on, waiting for that clock to go to 0. Now, I don't know what their clock is. I don't know what their end game is. I don't know what it is. But what I know is they know that they're not winning. They know that they're losing. They know it's just a matter of time. They are just trying to hold on. The momentum shift has changed. Just like you said, they used to have district conventions in large auditoriums and amphitheaters and ballparks and places that hold, almost 10,000 people. And I know right here, and your wife can probably attest to it, in the south suburbs where I live, we used to go to White Sox ballpark that seats, numbers of thousands of people. Now they have district convention in the same facility that they have the circuit, which just holds a few thousand people. That shows you right there the decline. Watchtower is just trying to hold on. They know they're losing. It's just a matter of time. The momentum has shifted, and it's never coming back.
Well said, Stefan. Seriously, that's exactly. It just the handwriting's on the wall. Really, if this was a growing, prosperous, ever enlarging organization, they'd still be meeting at Yankee Stadium. They'll still be meeting at Comiskey Park. They'll still be meeting in these big venues. They're not doing it. They're not doing it. And then I mentioned at the outset too. In fact, did someone else want to say something before I change the subject here? Did someone want to come in and say something? You're on with us. Go ahead if you want to.
Yeah, hi, Rick. This is Donald here from Texas.
Hi, yes, Donald.
You know, the internet is hurting them big time. The internet is really hurting them big time because ever since the internet finally came around, people started learning about what's been going on with Watchtower. All the documents have been put up there. All the videos have been put up there. And so all their past is there, even though they're trying to erase it. They can't because you got places like archive.org that holds, websites and stuff. You got a Wayback Machine. You got all these places that are collecting all this stuff. So anybody can go on the internet and look for all the past history and all the past videos and everything that they've recorded to see all the changes they've made throughout the years. And once you look at all that, you can tell it's not God's organization because God's word never changes, but yet their stuff does. It always changes, and it changes because they have to appease the governments to get more money into their coffers. So that's what they care about is their money. That's all they care about is their money.
Well, Donald, you're 100% correct. That it's really, and wouldn't you be nervous if you were a governing body member, and as we just said, perhaps there's 4.5 million PIMOs going to the meeting. They know what will happen if they just cave in and don't come anymore. They lose all their friends and relatives. But I'm sure the money boxes at the Kingdom Halls are not being filled as much as they used to be. I'm sure they're not. I mean, a PIMO isn't going to give money.
They're not probably, but they're getting their money. They're getting their money off of the real estate and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, they could see this coming. That's where they started doing it. And then I also mentioned, Donald, at the start of the program, the Public Information Department. And we've talked about that for years here on the Six Screens. And the Watchtower had a big Public Information Department right up to recently. They've cut it back. In fact, it's almost eliminated. You're not seeing much coming out of the Public Information Department of the Watchtower. Now, we talked about a man that seemed to head that department up. His name was Robert Hendricks. Well, we called him a real snake. I mean, we did. Remember, a couple of years ago, he would come on and lie, especially during COVID. He would come on and say how great the Jehovah's Witnesses are doing during COVID, even though they can't go door to door. They're writing letters. They're meeting on Zoom. And he went on and on and on, ranting and raving about the Jehovah's Witnesses. Robert Hendricks. But you don't even see him anymore. From what I understand, Hendricks now lives in South Florida. In fact, he goes to the same hall as Serena Williams. So they both have celebrity status. They go to the Kingdom Hall. Oh, that's Brother Hendricks. Oh, Brother Hendricks, you did so great. And of course, Serena Williams, we all know her. I don't know about her. I'm not going to comment too much. Yeah. So anyways, they go to the same hall. But the point I'm trying to make is the Public Information Department is being eliminated. That's what it seems like to me. And the reason I know it is that is, it used to always be, they got convention times right now. If you punch in Jehovah's Witnesses right now on Google, all you're going to see is all this negative, cynical, critical stuff about the Watchtower. But, you're not really going to hear about, oh, the witnesses are meeting in Boston. Oh, the witnesses are meeting in New York City. You're not going to hear that. Before you used to hear it, and the Chamber of Commerce would, the Chamber of Commerce would say how wonderful it is. The witnesses are spending money. They're staying in the hotels. I'm not seeing any of this anymore. It's not like it used to be. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. It's shrinking definitely, and it's like I said, all the doctrinal changes that they've been having. I mean, every time you turn around, they're changing something. I mean, the blood thing, if you go way back far enough from what I've read and heard online, because I wasn't, like I said, I studied with them back in the early 90s, but even back then, their blood doctrine was pretty strong. You take blood, you're disfellowshipped. Well, now it's like, now it's a conscience matter. Well, that's interesting, because if it's supposedly God's law that you can't take blood, why in the world would they change it? I'll tell you why. Cha-ching, cha-ching. That's what it is. It's all about the money. It's all it is.
Well, you're absolutely right, Donald. It's, but when you're a witness, a full-fledged witness, and when I was really a full-fledged witness, I really thought that the organization was scraping along. I mean, that's what they made it seem that way, but never did they scrape along. They've always been a big money-making corporation, and but they made us feel that. Geez, I can remember years ago as a young man visiting Bethel, and I can remember going on the tour, and they were saying how the Bethelites come and they work for practically nothing. Now, back then, back in the 60s, the Bethelites were making $14 a month. And I said, geez, that's not a lot. Even back then, that wasn't a lot. But I'd say, gee, they really must love Jehovah to do that. And I still say maybe some of those loyal Bethelites do. They're making about $120 a month now. But even that's not enough. I mean, to cover your toiletries and your deodorant and your underwear and things you need, And I mean, that's not enough. They have to rely on their families helping them. But it's all been about money. And that brings up a fact, as you have been reiterating here, cha-ching, 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 that's why they're letting a lot of Bethelites go now too, is because it's costing them, even though they're getting free labor, all those guys working on publishing magazines and what have you, even though they're getting free labor, it still costs to house these guys. I mean, really, think about it. Go ahead.
Yeah. And have you ever thought about this, Rick? They've been talking about paradise, and they claim they're in a spiritual paradise, right? They say that their organization is a spiritual paradise. But have you ever thought about what paradise earth will be like according to them? Have you really ever gave that any real thought?
Oh, of course I have. I mean, in fact, every ex-witness that ever got out of the organization, I mean, even I'll tell you, really loyal pimo witnesses give it a thought. I had a couple sit, a while back at my kitchen table, and they were really loyal Jehovah's Witnesses. And the brother was bringing up the fact that, well, what's going to happen in the new system? He's asking me. I don't know. He says, what about what happens when you flush the toilet? Are we going to have a septic system? Are we going to have a waste treatment plant for water? These are questions. How are we going to get shoes? How are we going to get tools to clean up? These are questions you have to ask, Donald.
Well, the reason why I brought that up is because what you see in the organization right now is only a small taste of what their paradise will be. Because if their paradise is anything like they claim it's going to be, when it happens, they're going to go right back to the old doctrines that they used to have, only they're going to reinforce everything the way it was. So everything's going to be undone as far as their rules go. It's going to all go back to the way it once was. The rules will be stricter. You won't have any freedom. Supposedly you won't even have a right to choose where you live. They'll tell you where you live. And your freedom, there's no real freedom. I mean, yeah, the earth will be nice looking, and sure, there'll be beautiful flowers and fruit bowls full of food, but behind all that is you're going to be living under a evil empire for eternity, because that's what it's going to be. Because if they're running it the way they're doing it now, it's nothing compared to what it'll be if it comes about to, what they claim it's going to be. Because right now the governments are kind of keeping them in line right now. But once their so-called paradise comes around, I don't believe it will, but if you want to go by that, if it does come around like that, watch out, because they will be in full control. It'll be like, basically the earth will be a beautiful North Korea, is what I'm basically saying.
Well, you want to know? You wrote the book.
Come on, Rick.
Yeah, go ahead, Kurt.
What's that?
We got another guy. Yeah, go ahead, Kurt. We have another man on. Go ahead, Kurt.
You know how that's going to be? You know how that's going to be? Jesus going to be in charge. And Jesus is the government. So all those governments tumble. And Rick, you're doing a marvelous job. Thank you so much for doing all your effort, what you're doing. You're doing terrific job. And being a pimo is a very, very hard job to be a pimo. I'm a pimo, and it's very, very tough to be a pimo. To see all the wrongdoings and then participate with that organization is very, 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 very tough.
Well, sister, thank you, sister. Thank you. Well, thank you, sister, for calling in. And
good job. Yeah, it would be so nice if I could go to Bath, but it's too expensive. Yeah.
Where are you from, sister? If you don't,
Please.
where are you from, sister?
No, I can't say.
Okay, that's okay. No, that's okay.
Able to say, I'm sorry.
That's okay. No, but thank you for coming in. I think you're relatively new. I don't think you ever spoke up here before.
No, I never spoke. Before. It's the first time because I'm a people.
Yeah, it's really starting to bother you, right? It's the Watchtower is really starting to bother you, right?
Oh, really bad. Yeah, really bad. And then it bother me all the time here, and no, it's really bad. It's very hard.
Now,
I'm considered to move to a different place, so then it's easier to cut the ties completely. But it's hard for me to move because I got a lot of medical problems right now, so I have to get over them right now. So. Yeah.
Well, sister, thank you. Thank you
very much for doing such a good job. And in the future, I'm going to call again, and maybe I'm able to talk.
Well, thank you for talking to us.
Thank you so much for doing the good job, and thank you for having that in Boston, that convention.
Yeah, well, it will be. You won't be able to come, but we're going to have it. It's gonna be live streamed. It'll be on YouTube. Yeah.
So I'm gonna watch that definitely. And what I like about your station there, what you got 6 screens. You don't ask for any money. There's some witnesses that they do got, and they got their channels, but they ask for money. Some of the witnesses, and some of the witnesses you have to be a member. And to be a member, never would be a member of anything again.
Well, you got it. Yeah, no, we don't.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, sister. Thank you. I mean, you made my night. You really made my night.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
Well, good.
I emailed you a few times actually. Okay, thank you so much. Then have a good evening.
Well, you too. Yeah, thank you. Let's go to 951. You're on with us, 951. Go ahead.
Oh, hi there.
Hi.
I'm in California right now.
Yeah. Hi.
I really appreciate your program. I'm an ex-JW. I was disfellowshipped about 30 years ago, and unfortunately, I have been having a hard time reacclimating to the real world, unfortunately. But I made a definite resolve that my children are not going to not go to college. So I have 6 children, and my adult daughter, who I live with, I rent a house with her. She is going to college. My youngest son, he went to college 4 years at UCLA. He's in quantum physics. I've got my older son, who is a wonderful man, and he's gone through a little bit of a college. But I have to tell you, it's still hard for me. I'm in therapy. I have some antidepressant medications. But you know something? Being raised in that religion, and I gave it my everything. It was everything to me. It is so hard to reacclimate myself and feel like I'm worth something. I'm worthy to have a life. I'm 69 years old. So I'm treading lightly, but I really am interested in getting ahead, getting on with my life.
Well, that's something we all should want to do, right? But we never were able to do that in the Watchtower.
Right.
Well, that's just wonderful that you.
Because, you know, in the Watchtower, you don't have freedom.
Right. Right.
Well, that's good that you called in, sister.
Yeah, I haven't heard you before. This is Kurt. I'm 69 too. So hello.
Hello.
And Rick, I wanted to comment. I didn't hear your introduction. Where's Anne Marie today?
Well, Anne Marie isn't. She's on every other week, so she'll be on next week. But Barbara Anderson usually comes on early, but she couldn't come in. Barbara Anderson she's had a lot of issues going on in the last couple of months. Her husband died, and she's had some issues with her health.
Right.
So it's been a problem for Barbara, but she's doing better. I talked to her a while back, and she's doing better, recovering. She's going to be back on with us, and she's looking forward to coming up here to the convention in Boston. Yep. So
Thank you for that answer. I wanted to make a brief comment about the PIMOs. You were talking about PIMOs, maybe half in the organization. Tell all you guys something you know, just to remind you. If I was a governing body member, I would be looking forward to the Great Tribulation. And out of the Great Tribulation will be a great crowd, unnumbered great crowd of other sheep. That's what they teach. And so it might be 1 million to a governing body member, or just unnumbered, that will come through that have washed their robes white. So that's what they're looking for. So whether it be 500,000 people or 9 million, that's what I think a governing body would think. Anyway, thank you for listening to me. Go ahead. You might comment on that. You know all about stuff like that. And yeah, there's a lot of PIMOs in the organization. I agree with you.
Well, I give you a gold star, Kurt. I love what you said, that the governing body is looking forward to the tribulation. It might be their way out. Well, thank you, Kurt. Yeah. Well, so I believe. Hello. Yes, Apostle Babe. Go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
I just wanted to tell the caller, hi, that's in California, that I'm in California too. California.
Oh, good.
And if you would like my phone number, you could email Rick and he can give it to you. And we can be in touch, because I left 40 years ago and I'm still having a hard time assimilating.
That is wonderful. No, not wonderful, but I would love to get in contact with you, because it's really hard right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and I'm glad to hear your kids went to college. I just watched my granddaughter graduate high school. And
I've never seen my grandchildren because I'm being shunned.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it was a death punch. It was literally a death punch.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's what they do. It's so terrible. I don't know how. And some people commit suicide, but I haven't done that. I'm not, obviously. But you know something that was in the back of my mind a couple of years ago?
Yeah,
because
I understand.
no, this is ridiculous.
Well, yeah, all that shunning stuff, that they claim they follow Jesus, but they do not follow Jesus at all. Because I would love to ask either an elder or even a governing body member. I'd say, show me one place, just one place in the Bible where Jesus disfellowshipped somebody or condemned somebody. And I'm going to tell them, guess what? You won't find it. So there you go.
Right.
You're not following Jesus. That's what I tell them.
Yeah. Right. Yeah,
This is Donald from Texas. I'm Donald Brown from Texas.
Donald's an amazing man, by the way. He wrote something up, and I bought it from him. I'm here I'm advertising for him. But something about North Korea being just like the organization, and it's amazing. I have it in PDF form. It's amazing. Anybody want to get that from him? He's your guy. He's an excellent writer, and he's done a ton of homework. He knows this organization very, very well.
Right.
But
Apostate.
Hey, Kurt. How are you? Hi.
I love you, miss you. Do you know what happened to XJW? Oh my goodness. Doe. What was her first name?
Jane Doe.
You had a bunch of her videos. That's it, Jane Doe. You can tell how bad I feel this evening. Anyway, Jane Doe, her videos are not on YouTube anymore. Do you know anything about that?
Yes, and she's mentioned this publicly, so I can just give you a little rundown. But she was doing her income tax, and because she was getting money from YouTube, her daughter wanted to do her income tax for her. So when her daughter was asking about, why are you getting money from YouTube? She found out about her mother's YouTube channel, and that didn't go over well, and it really devastated her daughter. You know, she was really like, it wasn't like her daughter reprimanded her. She was like heartbroken. So she says, okay, if it bothers you that much, I'll take him down. And she did. And I'll be honest with you, I would have done the same thing. Okay? I mean,
I hear you.
You know, we have to rely
I knew
on our kids or whatever that are.
I've been meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that you would. I thought that you would know, and you did. And I thank you so much for.
She calls to 6 screens every so often with the name of Bonnie. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I have heard her. I have heard her because I know her voice, but I've not spoken to her on 6 screens. But thank you so much for all of that, and I miss you quite a bit. And good talking to you. Okay, I'm stepping all over Rick here, so I'll shut up. So thank you, apostate.
You're welcome, Kurt. So since
Bye-bye.
Since I left 6 screens, I now do a show on my own channel. At the time, I used to do it on the 6 screens about 9 p.m. So I ended up starting my own show on my own channel because Rick was burning the candle at 2 ends, and it just got too much for him to be awake. So he had to get woken up because people were showing up and bullying me. And he doesn't need to be woken up to make peace. He didn't have to put on his, referee shirt.
Right. So do you, are you saying,
I hate all that.
Are you saying you have a number I can contact you at, the Pasta Babe? Do you have a number or something? Because I'm floundering. I'm not doing well. I try to put up a good front, but I'm really not doing well.
If you have a pencil, you can write down Rick's email address. Oh, you do? Ask him for Apostate Babe or Linda's phone number. I'm in Southern California, Orange County, and we can get in touch and talk.
So it's only Apostate Babe, right?
Or Linda.
Oh, for Linda.
Yeah, Linda. Yeah, Apostate. I go by Apostate Babe Linda James, but I think I'm the only Linda that's been hanging out lately in the community.
No, I don't know how much information you can give because I think I'm still unmuted on Rick's screens. I don't want to, reveal too much.
Yeah, and that's why I'm not going to give you my phone number over the air.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's great. That's fine. I know since I've left the organization, I'm trying to live a better life. I'm trying to do good. But the problem is, it was deep rooted in me. It was set in my mindset, my conscience. I have a conscience that is so sensitive that I can't pick up nothing without, oh, is that the right thing to do? This is what my parents, they did to me. They're dead. I love my parents. I do love my parents. But still, I am stagnant. And I have a high IQ. I do. I have a high IQ, and I know I am. But I've never been to college. But guess what? My youngest son, 4 years UCLA, 2 years at Stanford. The daughter who I live with right now, she's struggling, but she's smart. She's going through her college. I have children. I've got 4 other children. 2 daughters who are shunning me. Grandchildren I've never seen. But I'm still working with all of this shit.
Yeah, it gets heavy. And
well, that's all I wanted to be. I was born in. I was a raised Jehovah's Witness. I was the perfect submissive wife. The perfect submissive wife. And this is what I got in return. Nothing.
Even after I left the organization, I was a perfect submissive wife. Yep. Yes, I can.
I wanted to say something to the sister from California.
Yeah.
I don't know if she got what she was saying. If you have Rick's email, you'll email him, and he'll give you her number. Do you have Rick's email?
No, I don't think I'm looking at my YouTube right now. I don't think I do.
Okay.
Help me out.
If you get a pen and paper, you can tell.
It's right here. It's right here. I have it.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Perfect.
And then I just wanted to say something real quick because I know.
No, I have the pen. I don't have his email. I have the pen.
Oh.
The two of you sound so much fun.
Okay, I'll give sister. I'll give you. This is Rick Farron. I'll give you the email. My email. Send me. Send it to me, and I'll give you Linda's number. jwworldnews@gmail.com. jwworldnews@gmail.com. And what can we call you? A name? Maybe you don't want to give your real name, sister from California. But what is your name?
My name is Danette.
All right, Danette. All right.
Danette. Oh, yes. I'm not. I would love to give you my real name.
Well, what happens is sometimes people get a little schizo. They don't want to give their name. So how long did you say you were out, Danette?
Okay, I was baptized at 17 years of age, and older age, because I really didn't want to get baptized. I felt really weird about it, but I kept on being tortured by my dad. Oh, Mom and Dad, we'll make Armageddon, but you won't. So finally, I got baptized in 1972. And after that, it was a downhill slip because I married a 42-year-old man. My dad's Bible study. He'd had a vasectomy. I couldn't have kids with him. I couldn't marry the real man that I really wanted to marry. Oh, it was just like a Romeo and Juliet type of situation. The real love of my life, I could not marry. And of course today, I'm glad I did not marry that person because, he probably, whatever. But anyway, we grow up. But I was never able to date. I was never able to go anywhere. It was all repressive. And so it's been hard for me. So I got disfellowshipped in 1978. And then from there, I had a string of affairs. I had a lot of stuff going on. When a spring is condensed and then it's let go, guess what it does? It springs way out of bounds. There are no bounds. And that's kind of what I did. And then I got pregnant. without a husband, yada yada. This is a story. It's like old time stories. This is what happens to women. And then finally, I remarried, found a husband, and converted him. Don't you know? I converted him to JW. And then I had 5 children with him because I wanted the grandparents in my kid's life, only to find out that those grandparents, my mother and dad, were still the same bigots that I had left. You know, they weren't different. And then I got disfellowshipped the second time. So my story is the same as a lot of women in JW. And finally, here I am, a widow, living with my adult daughter on Social Security in California. But I am so grieving. I am grieving the life that I could have had. I could have been a singer because I had a great voice, you know, but can't do that no more. No, can't do that no more. I'm obese and I have problems. Yeah. That's how it goes with Jehovah's Witnesses.
Well, you mentioned, Danette.
And too, maybe.
Yeah, Danette, you mentioned that you really had a bothered conscience when you left the Watchtower, and probably still have it now. But what you got to do, I had the same thing. You know, when I was a Jehovah's Witness, I wanted to do everything by the book. I wanted to be as honest as I possibly could be. And they drive you nuts because you always feel like, does Jehovah approve of me? Am I going to die at Armageddon? And you carry that. But what I did, Danette, I took my conscience out to lunch and I shot it. Now, that doesn't mean I'm a man with no conscience, but a lot of the stuff in your head was a lot of the stuff in your head was stinking thinking. There wasn't any reason to be conscientious about it. But the Watchtower made us conscientious about everything. They ruined it. They ruined our conscience in some ways.
Right. Yeah.
Well, boy,
You're so right.
we're so glad you called in, Danette.
Well, it ain't over till the fat ladies sing. And we haven't sang yet, so it ain't over, okay?
And there's a big community, growing community in California. So they're having a meetup in Carlsbad on the 19th of June in California. I don't know where
that's by Arizona, right?
Carlsbad thing is in New Mexico, I think.
Yeah. I'm looking for something in Lake Elsinore, Murrieta, Corona, Temecula. Things are getting really expensive right now. You know, we have to, oh my goodness, yeah. Anything closer to me would be great.
Yeah, I know that until then, we can have phone calls with people.
Yeah, and I got to get your phone number because I'm hanging on by a thread.
Yikes.
Yeah. No,
I
it's a thread.
And I have my days too. I understand.
Yeah, well, yeah. And I have a support system.
I was that way like last week, all last week. All last week I was that way.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people that leave like that, yeah.
We go through seasons, and it's part of the mourning, you know, when you lose something, even if it's toxic and terrible, and it was a wise thing to do, we still go through the mourning process.
Exactly.
Being hurt, being mad, you know, these different grieving processes, and mourning over what we could have been is really common.
That's what's hitting me right now. The looks that I used to have, I used to be photographed when I was younger, and the singing voice all that stuff. I'm mourning all of that.
Live forever. We were supposed to live forever.
Yeah.
So when we're seeing the wrinkles and losing our youthful look, it's devastating. Even though we know that we're supposed to get old, there's still something in us that looks at this and goes, wait a minute, this is not supposed to happen. But it's very, it's discouraging.
But it's also about do not bring attention to yourself. Oh, great, you're so pretty, but guess what? Don't bring attention to yourself. Oh, great, you can sing really good, but don't bring attention to yourself. See, those are the things that bothered me. Oh my God, you can't. Oh gosh, you gotta shut up. Oh God. Oh my goodness, you shouldn't be here. Whatever. Oh my goodness. Only to find out later, I've got a huge brain. I've got like a huge IQ. I didn't know that. I only found out about it later. When I was unemployed and I went through the Department of Rehabilitation in Riverside County, they tested me and they said, wow, I'm sorry, how come you don't have a job? You have a real high IQ. You should go into math or accounting. I said, what?
I know, it's a shock. It's a surprise.
It was shocking.
And it has nothing to do with our IQ as far as being deceived. Anybody can be deceived. There was a rocket scientist a rocket scientist was recruited to this organization. And, you know, it's not about, and I've got a gal texting me now. I have a friend texting me now who wants to be in touch with you. So I'm going to be giving you her number too. And she's in California as well. So,
well, I need to know.
She left over 40 years.
His email, JW World
News at Gmail.
JWWorldNews@gmail.com. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will work with this what I got, and I'm going to let you go and get onto your programming. I don't want to take all your time up.
Well, thank you.
Really hard.
Well, thank you, Danette. Now call in again. Call in again. We enjoyed having our conversation with you, and we wish you all the best. We really, really do. And don't be a stranger. Come back. Now we got quite the community here. I want to be part of it. Okay.
I will. Thank you so much.
If you don't click with one of us, that's okay. Be selective. It's okay to be selective. Sometimes our personalities don't go well together, and sometimes they just do. So
I just need help right now. Thank you so much, all of you.
Sure. Right. Good to meet you, Danette.
All right. Well, there you go. There's Danette.
Hey, Rick, this is Dinah Law.
Who is this? Diana Ross?
Hey, I was just coming on real quick before I have to go back to the kids. So I just wanted to say a couple things. I was born in 1987, and I was born in a Jehovah's Witness family, and my first life attempt was in 2000. I think a big important thing was a lot of people that were born into Jehovah's Witnesses became POMI, however you say it, physically out but mentally in. I was physically out since 2008, but mentally in until 2023. So and I personally know 3 people that are physically out, but they still make excuses for the Watchtower. They're still brainwashed, but they're just like, I just couldn't keep up. It was just me. I couldn't keep up with my family, that are blaming themselves. So it's just not just the physically in, mentally out. We've got a whole bunch of people we should try to keep reaching in the public that used to be Jehovah's Witnesses or had family in Jehovah's Witnesses that aren't aware of this stuff going on. Even my close family, they're like, oh, I didn't know that was happening. You know, my married family, I should say. So the awareness is getting more, but there's even more people to reach. I think even more than the physically in, mentally out. We've got the mentally out, physically out, mentally in as well. Because I was over 15 years. I was literally not going to the Kingdom Hall, but still defended them and still stood by their teachings. And it was just crazy. But I am, one of the things, because I didn't go to the Kingdom Hall, I didn't know about the broadcast. When he talked about bold-faced lies and pedophiles, that's the one that really strung me because my life proved that is not true. My life was not a bold-faced lie. So that's why I started telling my story, because that one physically hurt me. Just hearing that and hearing them say they didn't have to apologize for not getting it exactly right. Well, they didn't get it exactly right for me, and I have had a life, I tell you. My stories on my channel, Dinah Law, I will be going to the convention. I'll see you there. And I will be using my 3 minutes to read a poem, I'm sure. And I just want to say, let's be loud, let's be heard, but let's still be kind and compassionate. Everybody is in a different spot in their journey, and a lot of people are hurting. And to witnesses that haven't come out yet, if they have new light at the memorial and say you can drink the wine, don't drink the wine. And that's what I got to say. I hope you have, I love that you've been doing this for so long. And if you hadn't have been there, I wouldn't have seen you and went down the rabbit hole. So you were in my corner when I needed to get out. So I appreciate that, Rick. And Linda, you're an awesome.
I'm glad you're out. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, Dinah. Thank you, Dinah.
Check out her channel. She's incredibly talented.
In fact,
she writes poems all the time, and she makes these videos. Very creative, Dinah Lux.
Very good. Well, thank you, Dinah. So we're gonna go. We might give you some more time at the convention. More than 3 minutes. You got a real story to tell, right?
I sure do.
All right. Well, why don't you give me a call? I got your email. I'm going to give you my number. Give me a call next week, and let's talk about getting you on a little longer, okay?
Sure.
I'd love to do that. Thank you, Donna, for coming on. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right.
Absolutely. Have a great show. I'll be up the chat.
Thank you. Well, there you go. My goodness, we got a lot of people listening in tonight. Friends, as we've been talking here tonight, that this organization is changing big time. And let's not be fooled by it. Let's not be fooled by those buffoons coming on JW Broadcasting and telling us how great everything is. That's malarkey. And I use the example all the time. General Motors came out and said, oh, we are selling so many Chevrolets. We're selling Chevrolets like we never sold before. And yet they're shutting down Chevrolet dealerships. I mean, are they telling us the truth? Well, this is what's going on in the witness world. They're telling us, oh, my goodness, we are doing so wonderful. Things are bursting at the seams. And at the same time, they're shutting Kingdom Halls down. Doesn't make any sense. Hey, Donald, you're on there with us. I see. Now, you did write the book. You've been on our program before. You're coming to the convention, I believe, right?
I would like to, but I don't know if I can afford it, but I'd like to.
All right. I was just wondering because there was another Donald. I wasn't sure that was him or you or this other one. But yeah, because if you don't come in,
yeah, too many Donalds around.
there is, yeah. So where do you live, Donald? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm in Beaumont, Texas.
Oh, you're in Texas. Oh, way out there. Yeah. All right. I was just curious because I was wondering if that was you. But we'll be in touch. Maybe we can get you to, to talk on the internet for a short bit. Maybe like a half hour about your book.
Okay. Yeah, or I can call in. Yeah, if you can give me a call, what I could do is if you can give me a call-in number to call in, I'd be glad to.
Yeah, we can't do it on the telephone.
I can't. Well, my computer. You can't do it on the phone?
No, we're not. We'll have a phone line hooked up, but we're not going to do like phone interviews. Yeah. Yeah. It's because it's going to be like a live audience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But, well, I'll be in touch with you anyways. I believe I got you.
I didn't know if there'd be a way you could patch me in. I didn't know if there'd be a way you could patch me in if I called in on my phone.
Well, we might talk about that. We might have a.
This is Rose.
Hi, Rose. You're on with us.
Hi.
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 Yeah, you're talking.
Hi, everybody.
You're on with us.
Hello.
Yes, Rose. Yep. What would you like to say, Rose?
I just wanted to call in and tell you how encouraging it is just reading the comments and listening to everybody. But Danette, I just wanted to say that we are all here for you and we are all on your side. And we all understand how hard, what you're going through and how hard it is. And we all send our love to you. And we all are supporting you and giving you virtual hugs.
Well, that's a nice thing to say. There's a lot of.
We just convention all day.
So, Rose, you're a former Jehovah's Witness?
Yes, I was born as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. Mom and Dad met at Bethel, and they both knew Nathan Knorr, Fred Franz, Hayden Covington, all those people.
So how long have you been out,
I
Rose?
have a lot of rich history, and I'm still pimo because of my aged parents. I'm just afraid of what it would do. They've just dedicated their entire lives to this religion, and to think that they're not going to ever see me again, I don't know what that would do to them. And their health wasn't very good. So I've been out. I started waking up, I'd say around 2021, and it was after a very, very long process. I started thinking about things when I got my divorce around 2008 to my kid's father, and they decided to leave the organization. And because of that, they didn't do anything wrong. They didn't say anything to anybody about why. They did nothing wrong, but my family started to shun them. And I couldn't understand that. It just didn't make sense to me because we had been such a close family, or I thought we were a close family. But, I thought, we are this family. We will never separate. And here, my children were being shunned. And yeah, I started questioning things, and then I started seeing things, the overlapping generation that we all heard about in 1984, and different things, credit card machines at the assembly halls, that disgusted me. I was like, what the heck are these credit card machines doing? Half these people can't afford credit cards per month, and now you're going to make them pay interest on it. And then the meetings got shorter, and it got so much simplified, and the stupid shadow people, it just, you start seeing things, and those cracks get bigger and bigger and bigger. And mine, after I read Crisis, I first saw Jeffrey Jackson, and then I, on the Ark, and I was yelling at the screen while he was lying. And then I read Raymond Franz's book, Crisis of Conscience, and yeah, the scales came off finally. And that was after 14 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
I'm a slow turtle. What can I say?
Yeah, so let me ask you, Rose. Let me ask you.
Is this researcher? Is this researcher, Rose?
It is. Hi.
Woohoo! Yay! I appreciate the gift that you are on your channel. Thank you. That's all I wanted to ask.
My goodness, you guys, thank you. You guys are my gifts. Seriously, I can't even tell you how this XJW community has the dark places you go because of the way you're being treated and, undoing all of that indoctrination. I mean, it's not an easy process for any of us, especially the older you get, the more this organization has impacted your life in every aspect. And so You guys are the ones that have given me the strength to continue. So, my heart goes to you guys.
Well,
thank you.
When you went through the organization the way you did, what you got to realize is what you got from that organization is nothing compared to what it would be if their paradise were to come true. Because in their paradise, it will be the organization, but much, 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 much worse. Because it'll be
can you imagine being told where to live?
Eternity filled with that.
Oh, yeah,
like
being told where to live.
More of a totalitarian regime than it already is.
Yeah. So I said earlier during the call, of course you weren't here when I said it, but I told them, I said, their paradise Earth will be a beautiful version of North Korea.
That is exactly what it will be.
Well, Rose,
everything would be controlled.
Let me ask you, Rose. This is Rick Farron. This explains. So, Rose, you've been out for a while. Now let me know, how are you handling? How are you handling life now outside of the Watchtower? How are you doing it?
It's difficult, Rick. It's not easy, especially because I have to keep pretending right now. If I didn't have to pretend, if my mom and dad weren't here, the first video I would make would be a video of me with my face. But because of my parents, I have to keep pretending. And because you can only pretend so much, your family starts realizing something's wrong. I don't have the terminology that they say. There's new words all the time. I never realized that. new words, new phrases. And if you don't keep up, they can always tell something's wrong. So having to keep up with everything and dealing with the cold stares and the questions and the judgment that I've been receiving is difficult, but I love my parents and I don't know how to say goodbye to them. So it's worth it to me because I know I only have a few more years, a year, maybe 2, 3, maybe 4. And I don't know. I just can't say goodbye to them.
So do you worry about do you worry about them seeing your videos? How do you feel about that?
I'm scared to death. Not so much anymore. My fears have subsided some, but I remember when each time I would put out a new video, I would, the anxiety I would feel, I would almost get sick to my stomach. But it was just like this drive I had. I was so mad at the organization, and I just knew too much that, through my research, and I started learning all of this stuff about all the holidays and all the history with Rutherford and all of the rules that all witnesses are under, except for shunning, which came under North and France. We were under because of that man. Those arrogant, egotistical men who think they are equal to Jesus. And they literally sit, and maybe all of you can tell me if this has ever been said before. In the Proclaimers, was it the Proclaimers book or something like that? No, not the Proclaimers, but the Pure Worship book. I hear the books nowadays. They had it was one of the things that I first read. It was during Bible study, book study, and they had a paragraph that said 144,000 in one. And I had never seen that in print before. I'd never heard of that. And it just made me sick. How could they possibly put themselves equal? Yes, they will be co-rulers, but he will be ruler over them. They're not going to be equal to him. And for those egotistical men to say something like that made me sick to my stomach. And I was like, how dare them? How dare them even... Anyhow, I don't want to be the only one talking here.
Well, no, you get the stage. We give you the stage. No, you do a good job on your videos too, and I wanted to mention to you too.
Thank you, Greg.
Well, really, our convention coming up, we're going to have a YouTube on Saturday night. We're going to have awards. So if you could do this for me, so send me go through your YouTube videos, and you send me the one that you feel is your best. Okay. Would you do that for me? Send it to Jade.
Oh, Rick, I don't know. I don't know. I've got so many.
Well, you pick
one.
Well, you pick one out. I know you did. I know you got a bunch of them. You pick out what you think is a real good one, and send that to me. And what we're going to do, we're going to have a YouTube's award night on Saturday night at our convention up here in Boston. We're going to give some awards out. All the YouTube people deserve awards. Everybody that's making YouTube videos, my goodness, you're my friends because it's exposing the
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's exposing the Watchtower. So, but we're going to give some awards out and recognition of certain ones doing a good job. And you're out there, you're really hanging in there and doing a good job with your stuff. So,
Rick, honestly, I don't want any admonition. I don't want any more.
No.
Give that to somebody else.
Well, now you're sounding like...
I'm doing this because I'm doing this because it makes me feel good. That's my award.
Well, yeah, no, that's what I do too. But I'd like to give you recognition because, really, it takes courage, it takes guts in some respects to jump out and be an activist and get out there and make YouTube, and you're taking a risk as well. And you say, look, I want people to know. I want people to know what's going on in this nasty organization. So don't you hesitate to do that. Because, really, every one of them, all of the people on YouTube, they all have to be, they're doing a great job. Everyone's doing a great job. Yep.
Recognized. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I do.
Good.
And thank you, Rick, for everything you do.
Well,
you have helped so many people.
Well, you get a nice, kind way about you. You get a nice, soft voice. You really, really do. And that helps your video production, too. People resonate with that. That's what caught my attention. You got a real nice voice. Keep up the good work.
Well, I started my channel because I couldn't find a channel that I wanted something soft, and all the channels started to become more aggressive. And every time I would see something like that, I remember watching one video. And it was such a good video. But then in the middle of the video, they put screwed generation. And I was like, oh, that just turned me off. And I was like, I want to make videos that don't, hopefully, don't turn people off. And just, I just want to, facts, just facts and truth. Truth does not lie. Truth cannot change. People cannot deny truth. So
what is your channel called?
JW Researcher Rose. But there's so many.
JW Researcher Rose?
Yeah.
ROSE, right?
I'm sorry?
Is it rose as in like a plant, like the plant rose?
Yeah, just like the plant. Just like the
okay.
plant. So, and someday.
JW Researcher Rose.
Yeah, and someday I might even come out with my real name. That's not my real name.
No, I know.
I would love to interview you sometime, and we don't have to show your face.
Okay.
I do a live show on Saturday night starting at 9 Pacific Standard Time. If you took a nap, you might have fun. That would be great. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I.
Yes.
I can do that. Yeah.
That would be great.
Just email me at JW Researcher Rose if that's okay.
At Gmail.
Yeah, at Gmail.
Okay.
And then I will. I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Well, there you go. Well, thank you, Rose, for coming on. Boy,
Sounds good.
isn't that good? Isn't it good, apostate babe? Yeah.
It's been enjoyable.
Oh, well, don't you be a stranger. You come back and see us. You come back and see us, Rose. My goodness.
I definitely will.
All right, good.
And will you do me a big favor?
Sure.
Would you do me one big favor? Will you please tell Barbara she's my hero?
Yeah. In fact, I
That's
will.
all I ask. Just tell Barbara
I will tell her that,
Yeah.
and she's going to be okay. Boy, I'll tell you, she, as I was saying earlier, this last year has been a real hardship for her. She has been really taken through the grinder here. She, with her husband dying, and she was sick, and she had some other issues with some people. I mean, really. So, but she'll be coming back on. She'll tell us all about it, hopefully in 2 weeks. So we're looking forward to Rose. And I'll tell her when I talk to her.
Okay.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Rose. Yeah. All right. Well, there you go.
Thanks, you guys. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Rose. Well, there you go. I mean, isn't it nice to hear new ones? Really, isn't it refreshing? It's just amazing. The ex-witness community, I want to applaud everybody that does YouTube videos, no matter who they are. Boy, if they're out there exposing the Watchtower, you are my friend. That's what we're trying to do. That's why we're getting points on the scoreboard. That's why the Watchtower's got this convention tape that they got out. Did you see it? Let's talk a little bit about that. The 2025 convention, they are talking, well, most of you people probably saw it by now, I think. We'll play a little clip here so you can see it. But this is the video that they're playing at the convention. And boy, it's getting a lot of attention. A lot of attention. Let me see if I can't get it up right now. Give me a second here. I got to do a couple of things here. So we're going to present. Let me see what we got. We're going to do share screen. Let me just make sure I got the screen here right. Okay, apostate live. Where are you? Convention. How to deal with straw man. Oh, I'm going to convention dramatization. Okay, we got it right here. I'm going to put it up right now. So hold on 1 second. I want you to see it. I believe you can see part of it now. This is, if you go to the Jehovah's Witness convention this summer, they just started, I believe, last week. So they have this video. Everyone's calling it the apostate video. And this is actually, well, you'll see it, then we'll discuss it. Let me play it for you right now. You'll hear it. If you're on our radio network, you'll hear it. But let me roll it back here. Let's play it. Let me just make sure that we can all see it. Just let me go over here and double check it. Okay, it looks pretty darn good. Let me just open it up here a little bit. All right, let's make it bigger. All right, let's play the video. You tell me what you think. We'll talk a little bit about it. So let's play the video right now. Let's share it. Let's play it. Hold on. Let me just, okay.
Way you see the organization. Get back to me. Did you get that message I sent you?
Why would you send that to me? Better yet, why are you reading that garbage? It's all lies.
Garbage? How do you know if it's garbage if you haven't even read it?
Listen, you need to talk with your elders because you need help. And if you don't speak to them, I will.
Wow. That's what you feel. I need help. I don't need any help, man. I'm finding the answers to my questions, bro. And I'm keeping an open mind.
Open mind? You're ignoring Jehovah's thinking. The truth saved our lives.
Look, man, how long have we known each other? I would never steer you wrong. I'm not out to hurt you. I'm trying to help you. How long have you known me?
To tell these stones to become loaves of bread.
I'm trying to share with you the truth.
Throw yourself down.
Do you really think I would steer you wrong?
I will give you all this authority.
I definitely don't need any help from them.
Do an act of worship before me. Go away, Satan.
Stop.
There's only one truth, and it comes from Jehovah.
You're gonna walk away like that? What are you so afraid of? Man.
All right, we see what we're talking about here. Hold on one second. Let me just stop the video. Let's stop it. All right. So anyways, I think that you guys might have been kind of concerned what was being said here in the middle of you listening on our radio network. Well, what they did here is, just to reiterate, they had a Jehovah's Witness man who was confronted by another Jehovah's Witness man that was still in the organization, but he sent a message to the loyal Jehovah's Witness, and the loyal Jehovah's Witness didn't want anything to do with what he had to say. So the so-called apostate witness is saying, well, if you don't listen, how will you ever know? So what they did is they inserted, a picture of Jesus in the wilderness with Satan tempting him. I mean, this organization, they're doing some pretty crafty things. So they got this man, Jesus, I should say, in the wilderness, being tempted by Satan. And I'm not going to do that, and get away from me, Satan. And that's exactly what this Jehovah's Witness man was doing to the so-called witness turning apostate. So this shows me there's got to be monumental issues going on in the Watchtower right now in order for the Watchtower to even bring this video up. Why would they do that? And then, because this is exactly what many PMOs or many people who are leaving the organization, they're going to their friends, their relatives, and they're saying, hey, listen to me. I got things I want to show you. How can you possibly understand anything if you don't listen to what I'm saying? Doesn't that frustrate you? That's one of the biggest things that frustrated me when I left the organization, that I couldn't speak to my relatives. I wanted to tell them about the United Nations. I wanted to tell them about Johannes Grieber. I wanted to tell them about the Beth Sharim and some of the stuff we all learned about, but you couldn't. They would turn a deaf ear and walk away. And so now the organization knows there's so many apostates approaching them, they're very concerned. Stefan, what do you think? 315, I think is that Fran and Joe?
Hello, Rick. Yep. Yeah, we heard that, the video from the convention. And that's exactly those words. They must have it down pat, because when we told our children, we were questioning things, and we had heard about the Australian Royal Commission and, other things. And they said, you've got to go to the elders. And then they even told me, they said, Mom, you got to go to the elders and tell them what Pop's watching. I go, I'm not going to go to the elders and tell them that. And right then and there, they said, okay, you know, now we're going to, and then they started soft shunning us. But exactly what they said in that video is exactly what our children said. So they've got all the answers and all the responses right down pat.
Fran, they must be getting this left and right. Can you imagine how many active witnesses are being approached by relatives and friends and so-called apostates? And even in the congregation, this convention also speaks about that, as this video is more or less suggesting. There's people in the congregation that are considered not loyal, considered apostates. How bad is that?
Well, yeah. Well, they're trying to get rid of all the pimos. Yeah, Joe wanted to say something.
Hello, Rick.
Hi, Joe.
Great program.
Thank you.
Hello. Every ex-JW was once a JW. They just haven't come out yet.
Yeah, well, how many think are going to come out?
And we're watching them continually come out.
Every day.
They are, how do I want to say this? If there's a lot of witnesses, there will be a lot of ex-witnesses. And that's what's happening. We're watching it happen. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be.
No. And
calling us. No, they've lost.
And not only that, I mean, they're so worried about loyalty. You kind of got to question loyalty to who? To Jesus or to them? And I think they're working it. I think they're worried about being loyalty to them.
Yeah, and people know what's going on in that organization. They know. It's just that they have to be very careful when they make their exit for obvious reasons because of the losses, potential losses. But I mean, if there are any loyal witnesses in there, that's their problem, and it really is going to be a problem for them because they're not going to know what to do. They're not going to know what to do when things become when their neighbors look at them and wonder, "You're still a witness? Are you one of them?" And hopefully, they're smart enough to come out ahead of time. Hopefully.
Hold on. No, in fact, hold, Donald, hold on for a second. We got so many people want to speak up. So why don't you just hold back a little bit? 602, come on.
Hey, Rick, snitches get stitches. And I know this isn't the most intelligent comment today, but when you saw that video, it's like, I'm going to be a snitch and I'm going to go talk to the elders. Now, listen. It's okay, 14 years old. It's okay if you're 19 years old. We were all snitches. But when a 50-year-old man is snitching on his best friend, that's kind of unattractive. And so you Jehovah's Witness ladies that are watching this show, I mean, your husband is acting like a 14-year-old little kid. I'm going to go tell the teacher. Have these guys no shame? Where is the manliness? It's missing. Jehovah's Witnesses, they are devoid of testosterone. There's something wrong with this organization. Rick, my tattletale days are over. They were over a long time ago.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. No. In fact, I'm glad to hear it. I mean, every time you come on, Gilbert, you know, the people come in here. Like I say, you and Dan Clark, you guys you're like a magnet. You're like an ex-apostate magnet. You draw people in, you know. So we love to have you speak up, you know. So
the only thing is I don't. The only thing is I don't confess to have ever, you know, choking the chicken like Dan. So I've never done that. As a trained Jedi Knight, I've learned to have control. But I still love him. I'd like to tease him about that. Why he talks about that, I have no idea. But see, that's the whole thing with the Jehovah's Witnesses. It's what drives an older man to go on video and say, I'm going to tell on you. I'm going to tell mom and dad. See, we all done it, and we forgive each other. But come on, Rick, come on.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the idea here. No, not the idea, the fact that in this apostate narrative that they did that video, I mean, they're in damage control. But the idea of, the witnesses now going and tattling the elders, that was the last thing out of the witnesses' mouth. Well, I'm going to go tell the elders if you don't. I mean, that's like childish. That is like childish. That's kids play, So for the convention this year and for JW Broadcasting to put these so-called apostate narratives up, it appears to me they're in damage control. That the Watchtower is in pure damage control.
Yeah, and the last thing, Rick, maybe on your convention, that could be one of the highlight speeches. Snitches get stitches. All right, I'll see you later.
All right, I like it. Well, that's Gilbert. Yeah, so you know what? Yes, Stefan.
Brother Farron?
Yes.
So that video that you just played, sir, that's exactly what I was referring to at the beginning of your program when I said that the momentum has shifted and Watchtower is no longer playing to win. They are just holding on, hoping that when the game is over with, that they have the victory, which of course we know that they won't. But that's the video that I was referring to. So you go to this convention, you're expecting to learn something from the truth. You see, they're no longer teaching truth. They're no longer even teaching the Bible and teaching spiritual things. Everything is trying to stem the tide of people that are leaving by brainwashing and programming them on how they're supposed to respond when people come to them with this information. So you can just guarantee that anybody that goes to that convention, if you were approached with anything, they're going to say, oh no, don't show me that. Don't tell me that. I'm not going to watch anything that's negative towards the organization. And think about that terminology. I'm not going to watch anything negative towards the organization. You notice they didn't say I'm not going to watch anything that's true. I'm not going to watch anything that's negative towards the organization. So they are short-circuiting people's minds. They're brainwashing them. If this sounds like something that's negative towards the organization, I'm just going to outright reject it. The question of whether it's true or not will not even enter into their mind. That is the brainwashing of this organization.
How are you handling life now outside of the Watchtower?
I love Researcher Rose. I love her. And thank her for responding. I watch all your videos, and yes, I appreciate what you have said. Thank you.
All right.
I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah, well, that sister came on. She was just kind of suggesting she liked the Rose that was on Research Rose. It was just on, yeah.
I just wanted to finish very quickly. I just wanted to say one thing, and that is, after we've all heard that part from the district convention, we all need to take a step back and think before we relay information to a family member or a friend that's still a witness, because we know what their response is going to be. We've got to find other ways now. And we have to find a way where we can broach a subject without showing them information that they're just going to interpret as negative. And you did it in the most brilliant way. I don't know when this was. I don't know if this was at a memorial or maybe you were outside of a hall or where you were, but I believe it was you. And you had a banner with a picture of Toni Morris. And you'd ask the question, where's Toni? Something to that effect. I think that was you. But that's the kind of approach that we're going to have, because they can't look at that and say, oh, that's apostate. That's negative towards the organization. No, they all know who Toni Morris was. They know that Toni Morris was a governing body member. He gave all those talks and all those horrible, examples of people burning and all the rest of that. And then he just disappears. That's not something that they can deny, pass off as apostate. No, that happened in your organization. And you can't say that it didn't. And what happened? That's going to be the kind of approach that we're going to have to now have to implant seeds in these people's minds that hopefully will get them to go out for themselves and look at this stuff. We can't just bring it to them anymore, because Watchtower brainwash them to turn away from anything that can be perceived as negative. Forget the fact that it's true. Thanks, Rick.
Well, in fact, stay right there, Stefan. I want to ask you a question. In fact, hold on. I think that's Danella, I'm not sure. But I got a question, then we'll bring the sister back on. But I wanted to bring up, now when you were a witness, and you were one for many years, as I was, we were always taught 1 Peter 3:13 through 16, make a defense for your faith. I mean, I don't know how many times that was pounded into me during the 70s and 80s. Make a defense. So now you have in this convention video, you have a so-called apostate coming to an active witness saying, look at, I want to talk to you about some things that I see going on in the Watchtower. And no, he doesn't even want to listen. I mean, they're not making the defense. That's what you're supposed to do. He should have, they should be training those witnesses how to handle these apostates, but they know darn well that what the apostates are saying is true, or they'd be training them in their meetings how to make a defense. They're not even doing that. They're just having them walk away. It's terrible. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Stephen.
Correct.
Did the sister want to come back on? Was that Danella? I'm not sure. Did the sister want to come back on? All right. I guess not. But anyways, that convention video, I'll tell you what. Yes. Maverick from London.
Maverick here.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. I just thinking this ties exactly like how when it's sort of political or different kind of political situations where if someone's trying to shut down the other party, or like any sort of investigative journalism, and then they coin the phrase conspiracy theory. So that triggers a person now. If you start questioning anything, you just want to ask questions. As soon as you ask questions, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, and it shuts down. And so in the organization, like we just realized there's certain words now that if you say you're researching and it's not in the publications or you're just saying I've got a question or something, all these are all trigger words now that, if a person, a pimo or someone is gently trying to encourage a member of their family to look at the facts, you can't even go that far now. The Watchtower knows exactly what it's doing. It's trying to create trigger words that allows it, which will be implanted into the PME's brains to get all anxious and scared. Just the same way conspiracy theory is a word that people go, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. And I haven't said anything yet. How do you know what I don't want to go there. So it's the same thing now. So it's going to be tricky, as Stefan just mentioned. It is going to be tricky. I like the approach that I don't know if many people will know that Bridget AZ from Arizona. Bridget, she has a YouTube channel where she calls into the Bethel reception quite often. Brilliant, and she just drops a quote straight out of the magazines or something, and it's very difficult for a brother or sister who has never saw. Did you know that the society said this, and then just drop the quote there? It doesn't give them a chance to kind of react in a negative way or the walls to go up. So we're going to have to be maybe a bit more creative and know the person we're talking to. But yeah, it just reminded me of the same way, like in the political world or in general media, where if they don't want a certain thing to be talked about, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. Watchtower's doing exactly the same thing. Yeah, thanks, Rick.
Well, thank you, Maverick. I always enjoy listening to you. My goodness, you're a sensible-minded man. Keep staying Maverick. I'm just thinking, I'm going to bring a scripture up. I don't bring scriptures up normally, but Proverbs 18:13, it says to answer before listening, that is a folly and shame. Now, the Watchtower claims to be Christian, that they claim to follow the Bible. So this convention video is bothering me. I hate to keep beating it up here with a big stick, but it's really bothering me. It's bothering a bunch of you guys too. So Proverbs 18:13, to answer before listening. What does the Bible call a person who answers before they listen? A folly. Be a fool that would do that. So the Watchtower is actually in this convention video, this nutcase loyal witness, I'm going to snitch on you if you don't go to the elders and tell them you're having apostate thoughts. I mean, he wouldn't even listen to the man. The man is saying, I got some things I want to present to you. You have to listen. How can you make a decision if you're not listening? Well, the Bible even says to listen before you answer. So this is something I think it's really ticking a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses off. And as I just said to Stephan, when you stop and think about it, and I mentioned the scripture in Peter, how you have to make a defense for the faith. Now, you guys can remember in the 50s, maybe not the 50s, the 60s, but we had the reasoning book. And many of us took that reasoning book, reasoning from the scriptures that had all the objections. If someone brought up an objection, why don't you celebrate birthdays? Why don't you do this or that? Why don't you take blood? We had that reasoning book. Many had it actually bound right into their Bible. It was a green Bible at the time. And so we had that there. So if we went to the door and someone raised an objection, or even someone like an apostate would bring something up, at least we would reason. We would try to reason with that person. And today the witnesses are not being taught that. So you get some of the old timers here. They're seeing that this could be insulting. If they go to the convention, an older person like myself, right? If they go to the convention and they see that video, and the man doesn't even listen to what the other young man is trying to say about the organization, and doesn't even try to make a defense, geez, that could be an insult to a person of years gone by who would try to make a defense. So, this is going to really upset the apple cart. It really is. The Jehovah's Witness organization is really suffering. That's why the governing body now is in panic mode. They don't know what to do. So they got to come out with a video like this. And it's almost on a weekly basis in the Watchtower study that they're mentioning something about the apostates. Geez, if they would just knock it off, if I was still a loyal witness, I'd say, what's all this apostate talk? Why do they keep bringing this up? Is something really weird going on in the organization? And yes, people will actually look at, if you keep telling a person not to do something, they're going to do it. That's human nature. Geez, you can only say it so many times. I'm really thinking, so sometimes I brought it up on this program before. Is the Jehovah's Witness organization, are they deliberately trying to get people out of it? Are they just thinking, how can we get out of this, grab the money and run? I mean, it sounds absurd. It probably is. I don't know for sure. Nobody does. But certainly, why would they be so stupid? Why, in goodness name's sake, would they be so stupid? Now, you just heard from Fran and Joe. They were on. They got out about 2.5 years ago, maybe 3 now. But they've been out of the organization. Their children are still witnesses. They approach their children. They approach their relatives. The very same thing Fran said. I want to talk to you. I've seen some things that would be of major concern to you. And they turn a deaf ear. They will not listen at all. And, this is really going to be something that's taking place on a pretty massive level in the Watchtower. More and more people must be going to the elders and saying, did you hear this? Did you hear that? Then the elder says, well, don't listen to them. They're apostates. They're agents of the devil. They're mentally diseased. I'll tell you, really, this control that the Watchtower has, I'm really afraid that they're going to get some of these loyal PIMIs to really believe this. Now, not all. Like you say, there's a lot of people in the organization, PIMOs, that they're not going to believe this one bit. They're just going to reinforce them to get out. But someone who's loyally in, and they watch that convention video, they are going to have a hardened approach to anybody that brings anything up. And in the context of that video, these are people in the congregation. The Jehovah's Witness organization right now is addressing people in the congregations to be aware of apostates and unloyal ones in the confines of the congregation. So here you got paranoia all over the place. It's disgusting. They continue to hide the truth. And this organization will continue to come out and say, listen to us, because we're the only ones that have the truth. Well, I mean, how would you listen to an organization that we brought up so many times here on the 6 screens that tells you that they're going to be saying things that don't sound sensible from a human standpoint? It doesn't sound sensible or logical, but just believe it. That is absolutely nuts. JP, you're on with us. What do you have to say, JP? JP want to tune in? I'm not sure. Does anyone want to say anything? Boy, we got a lot of people coming in tonight. Yes, JP.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I think that what's going on in this latest convention video is it has to show that they are having a lot of people questioning in the way that they're portraying the fella that's asking the questions. They keep showing Satan the devil. And they didn't even go out and say, or the character in the movie state, that he was an apostate or really opposed. He's just asking questions, and they're putting him on an equal level with Satan, who, you know, in the Abrahamic faith, whether Judaism, Islam, or Christianity, he's the worst thing on earth. That's the reason why we're going through all this misery. And they're comparing it to somebody like that. Like the worst entity or thing that was ever created is Satan, and they're comparing it to this apostate who's just asking questions. But they're portraying him as an apostate, but the guy's not even going on there really saying that he doesn't believe that it is the truth, or that that he's questioning the governing body. But they don't even want people to question anything. One thing I did notice, and I've said that before to some family members and other people that I knew when I was in the org, I think he said something to the effect of, oh, you know, don't be scared. Why are you scared? I've said that before, but in a different way. I would say, why would you be scared to question, you know, if this is the truth? Why would you be scared to question it? That's how I used to put it. And it seems like those same questions are being asked a lot in the organization, and they're very paranoid. So I don't think they can prevent what's going on or what's about to happen. But one thing you were talking about was how some of the really loyal ones in there may continue to follow and believe them. And I think you're right, because with this new technology that they're using and stuff, this isn't, they're a cult, but this is in the 21st century. So other cults like Jim Jones, even going back to the history of the organization, they would just rely on the man to go there and convince people. But they have these movie facilities, studios that can do CGI. They can put music in there, actors and all kinds of stuff, so they can be so much more manipulative and influential with these things, because that's what a movie will do to a regular person. Some people can watch a movie and it'll bring a strong emotion on you. It could frighten you. It can make you cry. And so they have something in this modern age in their toolbox. To me, it's kind of quite frightening, the amount of influence and things that they can do with these movie studios and acting stuff. I think the people that are awake are rolling their eyes, probably listening to the show right now in secret. But I think the people that are really hooked in there, like my mother and a lot of my family, I think that they're gonna buy it. And it makes it a lot more scary with all this technology that they can have, and they can use artificial intelligence, these movie studios, and it's only going to get bigger. I don't even know what they're going to do with this Ramapo studio and all that when it comes out. But to me, that's That's what I was thinking, Rick.
Well, I got a couple of thoughts there that got my attention. First of all, you mentioned about the what they're saying about the apostates, and then tying Satan and devil in with it. That's a cheap trick. That's a very cheap trick. I mean, the witnesses. I mean, their conscience are rattled enough as it is without liking them to Jesus in the wilderness. That's over the top. I mean, you can't even compare Satan tempting Jesus in the wilderness to an apostate saying, "Why don't you check this out?" But yet the Watchtower will go to that length to try to scare the living daylights out of someone. And, that's equal to Jesus in the wilderness. Shame on them. I'll tell you what, I mean, these guys are going to have to answer. They're going to have to answer someday for all the problems they've caused in people's lives. Now, we had a woman on earlier, PJ. I don't know if you were listening or not, but the poor woman, she's been out for a while. She lives out in California, out in your neck of the woods. And she's been out for a while, but her conscience is so plagued. It's so condemnatory. Everything that, she does, she got to stop and think, am I doing the right thing? And many people listening to this program, it's the same thing. So I have to tell you, PJ, you're right on. And I like how you brought that up, that you can't compare Jesus in the wilderness to that apostate coming and trying to tempt the other witness. And another thing too that I really always appreciate you is you're right on, PJ. You really narrow it down. Now I know you're doing your best to really expose the Watchtower, and I know that you're going to be totally frustrated as well because you have relatives and friends you'd like to speak to about it, but they won't even give you. They'll just turn a deaf ear. But that's all going to change, PJ. You just watch. There's some dynamics taking place right now that's changing everything. It is.
Hello, Rick.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Joe.
Hello, Rick.
Yes.
Hi again, Joe again. Comments are great coming in. The society's doing things that they think are helpful in getting rid of the non-believers, the questioners. What they're doing, they're alienating most of the people in that organization that have a brain, that are able to question. Now, they're sitting there in that audience saying, well, man, just because I have a question, now I'm associated with Satan, the devil? It's like, is this the kind of a company that I'm in now? Just because I have questions. They're alienating so many of their own people. And we're going to see more and more of them on your program. Thanks.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right, Joe. I sit here sometimes stunned. Really, been doing this for 20 years. And I mention all the time, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but we didn't have any points on the scoreboard. The apostates 20 years ago, there was only a handful of us really, but we weren't getting any points. It was very discouraging to sit here and talk for hours. And, it was really nothing I could say that was showing that we're making progress. But right now, I'm telling you, all of us apostates together, all of us that have left the Watchtower, we're making points. We're getting points on the scoreboard. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Yeah, and the other thing too that's good. The other thing that's good too is the Watchtower. They're recognizing the ex-witness movement. They always did not do that, but now they're recognizing it. They know darn well there's many that have left and are now activists, and they're scared to death. That might be one of the reasons why they don't want to have a lot of conventions. All right. All right. Got a couple things going there. If anyone, yes.
Hello.
Yeah, hold on, Jay. Hold on. All right. In fact, hold on 1 second. 510. Hang on. After JP's done, we're bringing you on. Go ahead, JP.
Okay.
Yeah, one last thing I was going to mention was it was interesting how quick that the man who was we'll call him the PME, the physically in, mentally in JW, the one who's probably physically in, mentally out, that was asking questions. To me, it was just so crazy how Gilbert was bringing out too, that the guy was so childish. So I'm going to go report you to the elders and all that. And it just goes to show how paranoid they are. But it makes me wonder too, Rick. I've been awake for a little over 3 years, and I've talked to several family and a few other JW people that I know. And I've said so many things questioning the organization and bringing up old things. I probably could have been disfellowshipped like 500 times by now. So it makes me wonder if I'm going to get, after this convention, and they see that they're going to send an elder over here. Like I said, like, well, JP was saying a lot of this is, I could see myself exactly in that character that they're part of portraying. So it makes me wonder, Rick, if they're going to send an elder my way, you know, before the end of the year. I almost want to put a bet on it, but either way, it doesn't matter. I mean, if they come over here, you know, likely I could disfellowship them. So they just have to be careful, you know.
Well, I like what you said there, JP. You could have been disfellowshipped 500 times by now. And I like what also Kurt called in earlier. And he said, you know, the governing body, they're probably looking so forward to the great tribulation to get over this mess, you know. Jeez, some of the stuff we hear. Thank you, PJ. Hey, 315, come on, you're on with us.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Who's this?
Hello?
Yes, hello.
315?
No, that's you,
again.
Fran. We had, let's see,
Nope.
I'm sorry, I said 315,
Oh,
but I
okay,
meant to
sorry.
say, who was the other lady that was just on? Let's go with 248. Let's try 248. Let's go. Yeah, 510 first. We got a bunch of people calling tonight. 510. Go ahead. You're on with us.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Yeah, I saw that video yesterday in its entirety. And one of the things I wanted to kind of mention about that angered me was, you know, the part where the couple that comes over and they're questioning, they ask the young son, oh, what are you going to do after school? And the boy says, oh, well, I want to go to Bethel. And the husband says, oh, that's all well and fine, but have you thought about your future? And it kind of cuts away to the mother, you know, she's listening from the kitchen, you know, as to what her son is going to say to her. And the thing that always angered me about, especially the governing body, you know, they're living there in their ivory towers. They have either no knowledge or a willful ignorance of, you know, the real world in which we live. And the reality of living, at least here in this country, you know, is that a young man of color and women, they have always faced difficulties. You know, if they don't have a good education, they are starting way, way, way behind the eight ball if they do not have the education and knowledge to try to get ahead, because they had to fight, you know, sexism and racism in the workplace. And it always angered me that, you know, the governing body just, I feel like they never really addressed that. And, you know, they told everybody, oh, don't get an education, you know, and not even acknowledge, you know, that getting an education is really an advantage. I mean, it's an advantage for everybody, but, you know, certain groups can, you know, really need it, because, you know, they, you know, like the guy said in the video, well, how are you going to, you know, have a family and support a wife? And, you know, and it's very hard to do these days, especially if you're going to be a janitor. Not that there's anything wrong with being a janitor. My own dad was a janitor while being an elder, and, you know, he did well, but that was back in the day. I don't know how well he'd do now. But anyway, I that's what irritated me about the video, how it just denies reality of living in the world and portrays it as something like that is satanic for even questioning that. So that's all I wanted to say. Thanks a lot for taking my call.
Well, you're very welcome, sis. And no, that's a lot of good. Thank you for calling in. Go ahead. Who's next? You're on with us. Go ahead.
You know what? Why do you allow that woke bullshit on your program?
Racism and sexism. Come on. Come on.
Well, we know that's drunken Mike again. He's back drinking. Yeah. Yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry, were you talking? What did I miss, Rick? I'm sorry, were they talking to me, Rick?
Yeah, we're talking to you. Go ahead. You're on with us.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I heard somebody asking me about. I don't know if they were being sarcastic or if they were really, saying that it doesn't exist.
Oh no, that's no, that's just a bad caller. That's just a caller.
He was being sarcastic.
Yeah.
He was being sarcastic.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I get it totally. So
I've had the joy of his comments too. It'll just happen every so often.
Yeah, well, that's what
We got a girl gang here. We'll get him.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys.
Stand by our woman. Stand by our sister right here. Okay.
Thank you, sister. Go with it. Let's go with 540. You're on with us. Go ahead, 540.
That's me. What did I miss, Rick? Did they send the governing body to the court yet, or what?
Not yet, but as Kurt said earlier, the governing body is really hoping for the Great Tribulation. They want to get this all behind them. Really.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, all I can say is do the best you can in this economy. Things are really going to get bad with this. If this passes the House with Medicaid, things are going to get terrible for lots of people. And I was at the market last week just getting a 3-ounce pack of Jell-O that you make at home, and in a week's time, a 3-ounce pack of Jell-O has gone up 22 cents. So I don't know what the meat prices are doing, but it's going to get rough for people. And I think church is going to be the last thing on people's minds, but I also think that a lot of people get a lot of comfort from church and it doesn't cost them to go. So we're in some very interesting times.
Well, we are.
And I got a cease and desist. I got a cease and desist letter from Comcast. So I'm just going to make one brief comment every Saturday. So.
Cease and why'd they send you that?
Because they said I was using my phone too long on the same number.
Is that right? So your Comcast, generally Comcast doesn't give you problems. T-Mobile does. And also Metro out in California. I know they don't like people on conference calls, but the first I heard of Comcast. Yes. They must be getting fussy.
So I'll just keep it brief and then I'll just listen.
All right.
They are. And I hope to see everyone up in Massachusetts. If my ride is going, I will be there. And if not, I'll watch it on the YouTube. Aren't you you're going to stream some of it too?
Oh yeah. We hope to get you here in person, Pixie. It'd be really good to meet you. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be good if you make it.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah.
But it's going to be wonderful for everyone, every way that it's done.
Oh yeah, no. In fact,
Okay, well, I'll listen in.
Hey, what I want to say to you, by the way, is why don't you? I think I got your email. Yeah. I'm going to send you the information for the app. If you get the app, Comcast won't give any trouble. If you have the
thank you very much.
Okay, the 6-screen app, that's beautiful. That'll work for you. All right, I'll try to get that off you. I'll give you the link.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. In fact, I want to mention now that Pixie brought that up, we do have a 6.
I got a question.
Yeah, hold on.
You mentioned about the 6-screen app.
Yeah. Yes.
My question is about your app. Can I participate in the conference with that? You know, the thing you're having up there in Boston through the app? Can I get in through that way?
Possibly. Pop up, but it's more so for talking on the phone. People can talk on the phone all around the world, and they're not going to be charged any money for it. And it's nice and clear. But I'll send you the information too. And we're working on a video project as well. It might be able to allow you to do that. Okay. So go ahead and yeah, because it would be good to get you to see you. But the only problem is, if we just do it by phone, it's really not going to hold the interest. We got to hit this, Donald. We've got to hit this this convention out of the ballpark. We got to make this really. It's a lot of pressure because I mean this is the first of its kind. So we got to really hit this out of the ballpark. So we're looking for a Grand Slam homer here. I'm trying to bring. Well, to give you an idea, we have Barbara Anderson in person. We've got Fritz Springmeyer. We got a number of elders. I was on the phone last night with an elder that's got a real story to tell. He's going to come on. I'm trying to, now don't take this to the bank and cash it, anybody. I'm trying to see if we can't get Paul Grundy here. I'm going to try to give him a call this week. And I've been trying to get in touch with him. And I want him to come if he can. He's the one that does JW Facts. That is the best website there is on exposing the Jehovah's Witnesses. So he's from Australia. So we're going to do everything we can to try to help him get here. If he could come, that would be such an amazing thing. He could hit a home run for us. He really could. So if he's listening in, I know the movie company. The movie company, the video film company, whatever you want to call it, from Spain, that's coming up to the convention. They're going to be here in August. They've already booked their rooms at the Hilton where our convention is. They're filming a documentary movie all about the ex-witness world. So they've been in touch with Paul Grundy. He is aware of it. They're also trying to get him to come. They'd love to have him come. So I'm going to work on this week. And by next week, don't take it to the bank. I don't know. I'm going to try to get Paul Grundy. And boy, if we can get him here and some other people as well that I got in my bucket list here. If we can get some of these high profile apostates here with us, we're going to hit a home run. Donald, we're going to hit a home run. It's going to be good. Yeah. All right. So, boy, I'll tell you what, we've been having a lot of people. Yes, go ahead. Now, Mike, don't go nuts. All right.
I'm not going to say this. I just wanted to say, Rick, I'm not drunk. I don't know why you keep saying.
Well, because no, but because what happens, people get a few beers in them, then they get irate and angry. I thought you were. Excuse me if you're not. Okay.
Person made a comment about the racism, like how hard it is to, Jim Crow ended 50 years ago. Get over it, people. Come on. Slavery ended, 150 years ago? You're still bitching about it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. No.
They said not to know the source, and you don't have to be this way.
Yeah, if Mike could just come on.
She's crying about
No, Mike, he said, no, listen. See, I can't. Do you realize, Mike?
It's not the federal government.
Mike, do you?
DEI all day long.
Mike, listen to me, Mike.
I just wanted to say I'm not drunk.
All right, but do you know how many people write me and call me and saying, get that Mike out of here, get him out? I mean, why do you want to deliberately destroy a program? Why would you do that? I mean, what school did you go to? I'd like to go there and.
Rick, against the Watchtower, they're paying me to destroy your program. Remember, I've heard that conspiracy theory. So
well, it's not. It's
you're paying me.
Well,
I'm caught red-handed. You got me.
All right.
Mike.
Go ahead, Maverick.
The sister made a really valid point, though, yeah? The sister made a very valid point because we're up against it with so many prejudices around the world. She made a very, very good point. And so you just come rolling in there like a ball of thunder, and just trying to discredit what she's saying. She made a very, very balanced statement. And
no, I don't think so. Well, in America, the black people have everybody. There's nowhere that black people can't go. There's not jobs that black people can't do.
That wasn't the issue.
What she was speaking from is her experience and her wisdom. Speaking down to her was rude. Speaking down to her was rude. You speak from your wisdom.
Then zip it. If you haven't lived it, then zip it. If that's not your experience and everything's rosy and dandy, fine and dandy, I'll use an expression from the States, then great, but that's not everyone's experience. You can have a exotic name that may sound from one part of the world. You could be English, right? But you have a European name or whatever, and then you go for on your resume. They don't know who you are, but you could have a Middle Eastern name, and that could be, oh no, they're from so and so. There's prejudice everywhere. It's subtle. It's not in your face. So yeah, just wanted to say that sometimes we speak from our own reference, and it's very biased unless you've lived through that person's shoes. And let's bring it home. We can't explain to other people the subtle way that the Watchtower destroyed our lives. You talk to some people like, oh no, oh, you're exaggerating. Why don't you just get on with your lives? If you and we can say, well, you don't know what you're talking about because we've lived it. And it's the same thing in that example. So that sister, a good comment, but yeah, I'll go off my soapbox now.
Well, thank you, Maverick. Hey, let's go to 585. 585, you're on with us. Go ahead.
Yes, Rick. Why do you allow Mike to call in every week with the same racist remarks? It don't have nothing to do with being a former Jehovah's Witness. He's just trying to stir up problems. And we don't need no issues like that. If you don't like what he hear, tell him to cut his radio off or go back under his rock. You don't need to come up here and spout his hate.
Well, I agree with you. I agree with you. But what happens here is,
you agree with me?
Well, no, I didn't.
But you allow him to come up here.
Well, hold on, slow. Hey, caller, why don't you let me just talk? All right, I run the program here. I'm getting ready to get you off too because you're sounding racist to me, buddy. You're sounding racist to me. Now you're picking on me, right? Don't get on here giving me that crap. Jeez. All right. Anyways, people have no clue to what goes on here at the 6 screens. No clue at all. All right. I don't allow him to come on. Just like that guy that just came on. He just came on by himself. I don't have the right control panel here to knock people off in a heartbeat. So, that man coming on, he's spewing racism. And that's, so why can it go in one direction and not the other? That's what I feel. So, seriously, it's a little bit disgusting that people have to even bring this up, have to really bring this up. We have plenty of people on here that are of color. I've got people working with me that are of color. And to come on and accuse me of this and that and allow this or that, I don't go for it. I'm sorry. All right. So anyways, who would like to speak up right now? Hit *6 and come on. No, really, I get to the point that I can't control everything here, friends. I'm a one-man guy sitting behind a desk, okay? I do this for 20 years, never missed a Saturday night. I have people right now, and it ticks me off. I got an email this week that, many people out there are calling me and Barbara Anderson racist. Can you believe that? Can you actually believe that? This is nuts. And then to get someone coming on like that and read me the Riot Act and saying you're allowing him to come on, and I agree with him. I don't agree with Mike. I don't think there's anybody that listened to this program tonight. Yes, friend.
Rick?
Yes.
We found the same thing. Between the XJWs, it seems lately there's been a lot of aggression. And not only with racism, but they were doing it with Jimmy Bell, with Ruby, with Joe and I. It seems like there's a lot of agitation within the XJW group. And I'm not sure why, but we would like to talk to them if they have the courage to talk to us. And we've mentioned it several times. So you're not the only one, Rick, and I'm sorry that's happening to you because you've done a good thing and you get a lot of positive regard. And please don't let this get to you because that's what they're doing.
Well, thank you, Fran. But, when I got an email this week that people in the ex-witness world are accusing me and Barbara Anderson of all people. an 85-year-old woman that's helped so many people of color, and they're calling her a racist too. This is nut stuff. And, you know, this guy Mike comes on. I don't agree with him. This man's insinuating that I agree with him. I don't. These people come in. I have no control over this. I try to get them off as fast as I can. But for him to come on and start reading me the riot act, and I'll tell you what, I have many people of color that are my friends, plenty of them, customers. I got a man that's working with me from Jamaica. He's a good man. He's a good worker. But for people to come on and make accusations, I think it's pretty stinky, Fran. You know.
It is. It is.
And you know, Rick, I have to agree with you there too, because it's really, if you think, and I've always believed this, it's so childish to pick at someone's skin color. It's just skin. It's all it is. It's not. I mean, they're not. People of color are not any less human than anybody else is. Childish to pick at someone's skin color. It's just skin. It's all it is. It's not. I mean, they're not.
All right, you gotta. What you gotta do, Donald? You gotta shut your TV. I think you're watching YouTube. I'm not sure. All right, that's Donald. Let's try 972. 972. Go ahead.
Matt.
Go ahead, 972. 972. You're on with us.
I'm wanting to ask.
972.
Email. Okay.
Go ahead, 972.
I've got a problem that's been mentally driving me nuts.
Yeah, what is it?
I'm on star 72.
Oh, no, somebody's got there. We got to turn your YouTube off. Is your YouTube on, sister?
Yeah.
You got to turn it off so I can establish it's actually. Yeah, turn the YouTube off because what it's doing is echoing.
Oh, okay. Okay, it's off.
All right, good. Now we can hear you. What's your name? What can we call you? What's your name?
I really don't want to give it, but
Well, give me a fake name.
I don't know.
All right. Well, let's call you. How about Sydney?
Okay, I'll say it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sydney.
I've been in the truth most of my life. I was brought up in the truth, and I brought my son up in the truth. Then he went to Bethel. When he got out, he was treated like a golden boy. I was a single parent, and I'm still in the truth. But there's so many things happening in it that have made me mentally, overrated. Not overrated, but screwed up. When he was 27, he married a 19-year-old girl. And not only is she a CNA, but she also is not bipolar, but she's got a horrible, what do you call that? Borderline depression? No, not borderline depression. Anyway, long story short, she's used her CNA against me ever since she married my son. And we all lived in Dallas, and I came up here to Massachusetts when my whole family in Dallas died, just to be with my son. Well, you know, the fact that these two, they made him an elder when I came up here, even though he had gone down, totally lied, put a restraining order on me, and said that I had done things that I hadn't done. I hadn't even seen him, no argument. And here it is 8 years later. I'm still mentally sick. I haven't talked to him in 8 years. He is what you call a very weak man that kisses his wife's butt. But it's the fact that she's so strong and he's so weak. And I am having so much trouble getting over the suicide and the fact that a man in this organization can be made an elder just as he's dropping his mother, which the Bible says that, you know, if you say anything against your mother, you should be put to death. And long story short, I've been working with, people to try to help me keep from killing myself. But He hasn't talked to me for 8 years, and they let him be an elder, and it's just an absolute joke. They went down and got a restraining order on me, so I have no help. When I moved up here, I have no one in the world. It's just such a joke that he can be made. I mean, all these things are just the opposite of what we teach, what the Bible teaches and what the Watchtower teaches. And I've listened, to parts of this, what y'all talk about and stuff like that. And I want so bad to be able to, I'm 73. I just had a major flu, found out I had a heart attack when he took me to court 8 years ago. And I mean, and this is one of our, what do you call him? Elder. They won't even speak to his mother. And I'm not allowed to even contact him. And they just let all these things go inside the organization that, even though you're still in, is so heartbreaking. And nobody to talk to, unless you want to talk to, someone that's a pimo or an apostate, and then get put out and not have anybody else. And so it's just been, his name is Brandon Whitman. Hers is Carrie Whitman. They live in Bellingham, Massachusetts. They are, the way he paid for his nice house in Bellingham is tax evasion. He proved it. He got caught. They've done nothing to him. It's just so hard to be. I feel like I'm in outer space by myself. Or what's it? Twilight Zone. Because I have no one, no one wants to listen to this crap. And, that's in the truth. They've got their own problems. And it's so hard to stay alive. It is so hard to stay alive. And especially when you've got, no one to help you. And I can't get over the pain that it causes. That to me, it's still the truth. I know y'all are the opposite, but it's just, I've tried all my life to prove that it's not. But I also had to work as a single parent and give him everything he wanted and needed. And now he won't even feed me a meal. And goes down to the police and lies because his wife will take all of his money. And I just don't know how much longer I can make it. Especially when I was in the hospital for, and nobody to help me.
Well, geez, I'm awful sorry to hear that, sister. That's very difficult. So you're up here in Massachusetts now, right?
Well, I had to run from them.
Yeah.
Because they kept calling the police and using her CNA power to say that she said one time I said I was going to kill myself. And he said that. See, that's the thing. He's such a puss. He's so afraid of it. Yeah. And yet at the same time, he's a thief. He is a liar. He slandered his mother in court. I mean, nothing he's ever said.
Do the elders know this or what?
Well, they can't do anything. I mean, they don't care. Because when he moved up here to go to Bethel, and then he stayed in Massachusetts, then they knew him for 10 years, and they would just know me when I was coming up visiting. And so, they think that he's a good old guy because he is such a fake. And it's just, the first ones just said that they thought I was a terrible person for saying these things against him. And I don't know. It's just, you wouldn't even be hearing from me now if I hadn't been so sick, and which has made me so suicidal. And you know what he deserves. And I just trying to hold on by myself with no one in this world.
Well, you had no one
Well, I got
to.
one friend.
You got one friend?
Sir?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you called in because sometimes it's, I'm glad you made the call here tonight because this is a community of a lot of people just like you. And I'm sad to hear how difficult it's been. But you certainly can get to talk to people here and kind of work through your issues with them. And do you have phone friends? Do you have people you can talk to on the phone, or you talk to nobody?
No.
Nobody.
I have one friend here, and she kind of took up with me. She has MS, and she's been real nice, checking on me and stuff like that, but she can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. Of course, all these people think, well, the elders must be right. I mean, I hadn't been here long at all, and I was in an operation. And this guy called me up. What's his name? He's an elder, and he calls me up, and somebody had told him I'd done something. It was one of Carrie's friends. And so here I am under anesthesia to listen to him tell me that he doesn't think I'm good enough to serve Joe. And I mean, some of the animals that are in this organization. Now, I've met plenty of good ones, but not lately. Everybody's under stress.
So you're still going to the meeting? Yes. So Sydney, we'll call you Sydney. You're still going to the meetings, right?
Well, I can't walk very far. Back in 81, let's see, I had him at 80. When did I have him? 82. And then when he was 8, I got into a chemical exposure that's given me what's called respiratory throat disease, airway disease. And I mean, I can't drive, I can't do anything. And the very fact that this guy is called a witness and won't even come over to help his mother. And I just found out that I had a heart attack 8 years ago when I first came here, and he did this to me in court.
Well, it's really sad. It's really sad, Sydney. But it's what goes on with this organization. This organization, your son will go out, and he'll be so eager to talk to every Tom, Dick, and Harry out in the field and talk to them about becoming one of Jehovah's Witnesses, but doesn't even have anything to do with his mother. That's pretty sad,
Well, it's not Christian.
Well, we got some people who want to talk to you. 978. Susan, did you want to speak with Sydney?
Yeah, I did. With Sydney's situation, it makes me so sad. But her situation is like so many others. I have 2 daughters. They were underground missionaries in China for 6 years, almost 7, and they never helped me at all. Because once they do something like that, they are golden. You can't touch them. You can't. And one thing that I had to get over, and this is just for you to think about, is you're expecting the Watchtower to be fair, to be Christian.
What?
You're expecting the Watchtower to be fair and to be Christian. First of all, they're not Christian.
Yeah, you're cutting in and out
so
for me.
They're not fair. Oh, I'm sorry, Rick. It's because the problem I discussed about being so close to you. But the Watchtower is not Christian and not fair. They're not. And you can't expect them to.
No, I remember what it's like to work, and do all this stuff, but they don't have kids, and they take trips. And I saved all my money for him and everything he ever wanted. for him to do me this way. And I don't know. I mean, I'm a terrible person, but I don't think he deserves life. So, not by what the Bible says. Of course, we're not in those days any longer, but
sadly, that's not
anyway.
a case. Sadly, I've heard a lot of stories like that before.
Did I get hung up on?
Oh, no, you're still here. We have a brother that
Are you
wants to
there?
speak with you. Go ahead.
I'm still there, but I'm listening.
Go ahead, 248.
Yeah, I know a story of one of my friends growing up. He had left the witnesses, or he was inactive for about 2 years, and he got married. And they told his brother that if you are a part of the wedding or attend the wedding, he would get stripped of his privileges at the congregation. How unloving is that?
Yeah. Yeah. It's all, I mean, parts of it, I understand that they don't want us to have, or they don't want witnesses to have anything to do with other religious ceremonies. But at the same point, there's just so many different things that hurt so many different people. And it just, I'm surprised there's just so many witnesses that haven't been, I've heard y'all talk a lot about 1,000 people leaving at a time, but I hear that 1,000 people get disfellowshipped every year, but 1,000 come in. So that's like kind of a thing.
Sydney, can you come closer to your phone? We're having a hard time hearing you. Come closer to your phone, Sydney.
Well, I'm on it. Let me
that's better.
Take
right?
you off speaker and put it on. Is that better?
That's better, yeah.
Okay. So, but you can give my number to anybody you want to call me, and I would appreciate just not being alone in the world.
So you're here in Massachusetts, are you? Excuse me 1 second. You're here in Massachusetts, Sydney?
Well, I had to run from them.
I understand. I'm not asking you why. I'm just asking you why you're here.
I'm in Rhode Island.
Oh, you're in Rhode Island. Okay. Well, okay. Well, geez, I just hope that so you're not with your son there. But Bellingham is right on the Rhode Island line.
It'll never be straightened out.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
geez,
we're close, but it'll never be straightened out.
Well, what prompted you to call into the sixth? Hold on 1 second, Sister Sydney. Well, what prompted you to call in tonight to the Six Greens?
I think it was the fact that I have, I've sat here through these times, tried to make myself a living, made sure I listened to the Watchtower meetings. Excuse me. But then when I got into the hospital with the flu, on top of all these other disabilities that I can't deal with, and they told me I had a heart attack way back when, and the only time they can see is that it was when he went into, the only time I hit the floor in court in front of 75 other people was him lying about me saying that I was going to kill him. I mean, in Texas, we say that all the time, but not meaning. I mean, I grew up here, I spilled something, I'm going to kill you. But no, as far as, we didn't even have an argument. His wife is PhD. She has no impulse control. He has told me before, I've got to do what she tells me to do. I've got to do what she tells me to do. And I'm going, hey, I gave you life. There are other wives out there. But I understand it's important to stay married, but
we feel for you. I guess it's 248. Did you want to say something to Sydney? I'm sorry. Did you want to say something to Sydney? 248.
Yeah, Sydney. I think a problem with the organization is they teach that the religion is more important than individual friendships and even family. And I think that's what you're experiencing.
Well, Hold on, Coach.
In a
Some
perfect
people-
world, a son would look after her mother or look after his mother while they're sick, but that's not what they teach.
Well, all my life, it's been in the Watchtower. That's the first thing you teach. You put God's kingdom first, but God's kingdom first is putting your family first, then the ministry, or well, then the other people, and then the ministry. And they don't do what they're taught. They just, it's like we've gotten so far away. Of course, I came in back in the 50s. I was born in 52. But they just don't, there's so many people in the organization right now that have never read what I've read. That, you know, they never heard things like that. To where the first, the first part of putting the kingdom first is taking care of your family. Then the ones inside the congregation, and then you go door to door. Because there's plenty of people, and that's the way you put the kingdom first. And so, but it's just not the way that it gets done. And I guess everybody my age is getting old enough that, you know, they just don't have enough to give. But
now, if I could ask Rick a question here.
Yeah.
Are you there?
I'm here. Yep.
I know last week you told a story about your son, about his like dating experience when he was a teenager.
Right.
And you said that he left the organization before you did.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, it is. Yep.
And then did he blame you for his upbringing? And are you guys on good terms now?
Oh yeah. He never blamed me, but I had, well, actually, my former wife, we had 5 children together, 1 boy, 4 girls. Just about all the children. In fact, one of them is still in. Everyone else got out, but the ones that were in for a while, they kind of blamed me and my former wife, the Watchtower. Let's go with that. They kind of blamed the Watchtower for the issues in life. Yeah.
Yeah, that was just such a sad story because you could tell like he was a good kid that just wanted to live a normal life, and the Watchtower and the weird people and how the organization affects people just didn't give him that.
Oh no, because it's really amazing. I mean, seriously, even myself, I never would have got baptized. I was kind of forced into it. I won't go into the whole story, but you know, I met a girl in school that wasn't one of Jehovah's Witnesses when I was only 16 years old. And so I liked her. You know, when you're young like that, you get a crush on a person. But, you know, it bothered my conscience that I was a witness and I had a girlfriend that wasn't. So I remember my mother was a loyal witness. So I told my mother I had a girlfriend at school, and she said, well, is she a Jehovah's Witness? I mean, there's issues with that. It's you can't even do a thing. Did you grow up as a witness yourself?
Yes, I did.
So you know what I'm talking about.
I was born in, and then I left when I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
I left at 28, and then I came back in. I left for a divorce and depression, and then within 2 years, I had remarried on the rebound. Was getting a divorce, came back in the truth, found out I was pregnant.
And let me tell you, Rick, there was dating prospect as a teenager as a witness was not good. You know, all the good ones were taken, and all the ones that were available were weird.
Boy, I'll tell you, I resonate with that. I resonate with that because I'll tell you what they try to do is be matchmakers. That's what they tried to do, even in my circuit. They're all, well, Rick would like this sister, Rick would like her. They force people on you. You don't even like them, and they try to force people on you. That's what they tried to do to me. But I didn't see any witness girl that got my fancy. It didn't. And then it bothered my conscience. I was only 16, So, but this is what the witnesses do. They mess people's lives up. People make bad decisions. And then I wanted to go to school when I left high school. But, I was more or less told, don't talk about it. And it really ticked me off. So, you get no encouragement at all when you're a young person to get a little pat on the back. Or, oh, that's good, Rick. You want to go to school and learn broadcasting. Boy, they hated that. Broadcasting is a bad business. It's not good. So, I went to broadcasting school for a while, and they, basically they hated that. They hate it when people get an education,
And back then, anything entertainment was like taboo. That was not something witnesses got into.
Oh, no, they hated it.
Radio, television, movies, sports, any of that was off limits.
Oh, yeah, big time. So the only reason why I grow up. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And the right thing to do is say, hey, what are you good at? Share your gifts with the world, but they didn't view it that way.
Yeah, no.
Teach that.
Well, how many really? We had a program on here once a few years back called Apostate's Got Talent, and we're even going to do that at our convention on Saturday night. There's so many witnesses that had great amounts of talent, singing, writing, dancing, acting. They couldn't do a thing. They really, really couldn't. When you see the videos of the convention we're going to have coming up, you'll see some really talented people. But, geez, their whole lives were just held back, that they couldn't do a thing because, well, Jehovah's Witnesses don't do that. And, boy, many of them hurt economically. They could have gone on and did really well and made a good living for themselves. But no, don't do that. Don't do that. Terrible what they do.
Oh, but they love having the doctors and the dentists up there.
Well, there's not a whole lot of doctors and dentists and lawyers or professional people. There is some. I don't want to say there's none that are Jehovah's Witnesses. There is some. But for the most part, most of the poor witnesses that I knew, they had to take menial jobs. They really couldn't get an education. They couldn't.
Right, but if these doctors or dentists came into the truth, they were treated great up at Bethel.
Oh, you're right. You're right. They got first-class treatment.
And with the congregations, a lot of the brothers that were making a lot of money, it was construction, and they only encouraged construction because of quick builds and free labor.
Right.
Oh, it's a racket.
And there were some brothers who did have a business savvy, and they were successful with their own companies in spite of the Watchtower, not because of them.
You're absolutely right, brother.
Yes.
Absolutely right. No, this when you stop and think about it, and I'm so glad to hear people like Sydney coming on, and yourself, brother, and others. We all share the same experience. We're like real brothers and sisters. We can relate to one another. When poor Sydney's telling her story tonight, the people on here can relate to her. They get it. Her son's not. No, he's not relating at all to his own mother. That's his mother. You only have one mother. You would think that, if anything, the Watchtower should really encourage that, regardless of what the mother wants to be. If she wants to be a hardcore criminal apostate, you still have to love your mother. You only have one. But, geez, they tear families apart. And to hear Sydney talk like that, and there's a lot of people listening here tonight that experience the same thing. The same thing. And look at Barbara Anderson. Geez, we all know her. She's on this network, and she has a son. She only had one son, and he went to Bethel too. And like Sydney, her own son could care less. His father just died 3 months ago, And, he kind of had to be pushed to call his mother and talk to her about his dad dying. How sick is that? Really doesn't offer any encouragement at all to poor Barbara, just like Sydney. So Sydney, I'm not going to say you're in good company, but that's how it is in this Watchtower. They've damaged a lot of lives. And now here you are, you said 72 years old. And geez, as you get older, you really need help. You get old, you can't move around like you could when you were younger. You need someone to help you a little bit. And geez, where's your son? That's a biblical thing. Your son should step up and say, gee, Mom, I'll help you a little bit. It's sad. It's really sad.
They want me to buy me food to eat till I was dying.
That's nutty.
It's just a
Well,
unbelievable
no,
human person.
no, that's it's even sad for a mother to have to even say that about her son. Geez, I can't imagine. My mother was a full-blooded Jehovah's Witness, very loyal. And, I became an apostate, the biggest apostate in Massachusetts at one time. And, of course, my mother, she wouldn't have anything to do with me. But, geez, I still consider her my mother. And I would talk to her. I'd encourage her. I'd get her food. I'd do whatever she wanted me to do. But it's really a sad state of affairs. What is more important than family? Can someone name something? Your family's always here, and friends are. Yeah, friends are also important, but you got family. Family, it's so important, and the Watchtower knows that, those bums, and they'll do everything in their power to have you disconnect from one that doesn't want to be a Jehovah's Witness, whether your mother, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, and it's really sad, gee, because you really only have the one life to live.
Well, see, that's the thing. I'm in good standing, and so is he. And that's the joke.
Well, if you're still going to the...
That's part of the playbook, divide and conquer.
Yeah, and don't you think if she still is considered a witness and hasn't been disfellowshipped, those elders down there in Bellingham, Massachusetts, or wherever those elders are, they should be on that son's case. Take care of your mother. They just had a video on JW Broadcasting a month ago on how to help the elderly, how to help your elderly parents. That was the article. That was the video. How to help your elderly parents.
Yeah.
Did he watch that video or what?
Well, yeah, I'm sure he's watched it, but he's just, I don't know, he's a money lover. He can't take confrontation, so he kisses her foot. And it's just, but he didn't have to come after me. All he had to say was, Mother, got a crazy wife, you're going to have to stay away. We never even had an argument or a conversation like that.
So you think
he
it's
just flat took me to court.
And what did you say he took you to court for, Sydney?
He had said, he had heard a cop tell me one time about a guy that was bothering me. He said, if you ever really want to get a restraining order, you have to be able to say that your life's in danger or they said they were going to kill you. And so he went down there and flat lied. And then her being a CNA, she had people that were crisis workers. And she is a phenomenal liar. I mean, she can make you believe anything she wants to.
Well, this must be one wicked woman. She must be one wicked woman, Jace.
Oh, she's demonized, yeah. And he's money crazy. So but the fact that they can just stay away from me after I gave my whole life to him and now I need help and can't get it. It's just, the hurt is just unbearable.
It's unconscionable. It's unconscionable. Well, Sydney, I pray for you. I really do. And I pray that things can work out for you. It's not a fun thing.
Well, I got an attorney that I'm going to talk to because he took all my furniture and said, if you need to leave some in my house till you get a house of your own. And then when they got all they wanted, they quit being nice and they went down and did this.
Boy, I can't believe.
Restraining order on me, so
Well,
he can keep up.
I can't believe a son would do that to his mother. I can't believe it. I really, really can't. Now he's your only son. Did you have other children?
No.
Yeah. I just can't believe. I can't believe that a son would do that. I wish the state of Massachusetts would look into this. That is. Look at. I want you to use the phrase when you go to court or you talk to your lawyer. He'll probably tell you elderly abuse. Elderly abuse. You're being abused. You are being abused. Yeah, that's elderly abuse. There's acts.
Absolutely slandered me. Yeah. I agree with all of it. I was just trying to make it to the night.
Yeah.
So I can get to the,
I believe he is in an abusive relationship. I think he might be the battered spouse, because there is no Jehovah's Witness husband that says I got to do what she says. There's that's just not the ordinary Jehovah's Witness gentleman that would say that.
Yeah.
And I think she has him in a place of fear and obligation and guilt, which is something, if you put it together, it's fog, fear, obligation, and guilt. And he seems to be under the influence of that.
Yeah.
And if you're talking about, something mental with her, and maybe she's aggressive with him, she might have him, believing that she'll do something, who knows what, if he doesn't follow her directions,
Yeah.
And like you said, she lies easily. Yeah, this is very odd.
It's a narcissist is what she's called. She had the whole congregation believing that I said I was going to kill them. They wouldn't
I
call
thought we
me
don't
back.
take our brothers. I thought we don't take our brothers and sisters to court.
Well, this Kingdom Hall didn't. So,
yeah, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Rick can give you my number if you need to talk sometime, and he has it if you want to take down his email address. I have no desire to change your religious belief at all. I believe that falls under freedom of religion, and I'm not about doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to, in fact,
Linda. Linda James. Okay. Well, it's apostate Linda James, but the apostate, it's kind of apostate because it makes me feel like I'm still hot.
well, she's your.
Or something.
Well, she's your. Linda is your favorite apostate, but Sister Sydney. No, seriously, if you can email me at JW. Do you email, Sydney? Do you do email?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, well, write me at jwworldnews@gmail.com. Say, this is Sydney. You don't have to give me a real name. And I'm going to give you some telephone numbers. Linda's one, Apostle Babe, and some others that, you need someone to talk to you. You really do. You need someone because you're going through too much. It's too much. You're getting too old to go through all this by yourself. You need some help. You need some help from somebody to talk to you and encourage you. You do need that. I can tell, we all need it. We all need it.
Oh, yeah. Nobody. Yeah. That's true. That's true.
All right. Well, thank you.
Listen, I appreciate you listening, and I don't know, what made me jump tonight outside of the fact that I'm on too many medicines. I've been too sick and in the hospital. That was the first time in my life. Tried to get him to call me back, and he wouldn't even bother. He's still got a restraining order on me.
Well, he's going to have to lay his head down on a pillow tonight. I couldn't. It would bother me so much if I ignored my mother. I don't care if she was a criminal. I mean, it would bother me so much to ignore my mother. And like I said, you only have one mother. Gee, she brought you into the world. She nurtured you. She brought you up. She raised you as a little kid. And now you're a grown man. You turn on your mother. That's bad. That's real bad. God doesn't like that. He doesn't like that. Yeah. Yes, Kurt.
And the brothers.
Go ahead, Kurt.
Yeah, just real quickly here. I've been really enjoying the program and Sydney's story, and it's to me, and maybe you and others as well, all the problems in the world, problems in the Watchtower, the story that she gives, which I believe is a true story, is quite shocking. I'm sitting here thinking about it now. Shocking that a son would be that way with his mother. So I just wanted to say how much I enjoyed her coming on and telling the story. And while I've got a minute, I don't know if Susan got through with her comment to Sydney or not. I got a little bit lost there whether Susan got done. And Apostate Babe, I'm glad I got to speak to you and hear you this evening as well. So anyway, go ahead, Rick. Thank you for taking my call. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome, Kurt. Yeah, Susan did get through. We heard her quite well, and she has a nice soothing way about her as well. And I'm even gonna, if I get Sydney to write me, I'm gonna have Susan call her too, because the lady Sydney needs some companionship. She really, really does. Geez, I don't know what it would be like going through life with no one to talk to, no friends. That's going to be really hard for someone. All right. So what do you think?
It's been hard.
Yeah. I think we have 717. I think Dallas wants to say hello to you. Dallas, you want to say hello to Sydney?
Hi, Sydney. I just thought I'd introduce myself and be of encouragement to you. And I'm so sorry to hear about what you're experiencing there.
Well, I appreciate it. Everybody else just tells me, oh, you only did what you should have done.
And that you have us anytime you need us, and we do love you as a sister. And by the way, in Texas, I formerly lived in that area. And that was I lived in McKinney area.
Yeah, that was about 45 minutes away. I was closer to Dallas, a little east of Dallas.
But actually, I ain't native there. I'm actually native to Pennsylvania.
Huh. I didn't understand it.
Yeah, he said he's a native. He's from Pennsylvania. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Well, thank you, Dallas.
It became my home, and that if you need any of us, even me, you can speak to me whenever you need to, or whenever it's right for you. Any of us here, y'all can anytime.
Well, I appreciate it. I really do.
Well, see, we all love you, Sydney. We all love you. See, really, I want to thank you for calling up here tonight, because really, you got us all thinking and see, but we're hearing things that are so ugly in the Watchtower, and this is what we've been doing, and we don't make it up. This organization, it's dangerous. It's destructive. They hurt so many people. But we want you to be able to connect with people that can at least give you some encouragement, Sydney. So thank you for coming on tonight. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, and what is your email? You one more time?
Yeah, it's JW World News at gmail.com.
Okay.
Yeah, do that, because I can definitely get you some people to talk to, okay? That'll be good for you. Thank you.
Yes.
All righty, that's Sydney.
Okay,
Boy.
thank you all.
All right, thank you, Sydney. Isn't that something? People come on here. This is where ex-Jehovah's Witnesses and even Jehovah's Witnesses like her come on and talk right here on the sixth. In the sixth screen, telling that way. All right, so there we have it. Yes. You're on with us.
Okay.
Oh. Hello, Rick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, my name is T from Los Angeles. I've been listening in. I'm a regular listener every Saturday. I know that we were speaking about experiences earlier, and I just wanted to kind of put my 2 cents in.
Sure.
We all have experiences. We all have experiences that we go through. My experience is that my son, he's 14, and he's getting baptized. And I didn't tell him yes or no, but I'm kind of encouraging him to look deeper into things. And, and just so many things going on. But, you guys are absolutely right. We all have our experiences, and this channel here brings us together to share those experiences. So whenever someone comes on and they have something negative to say, we can hear them out, but if they're not sharing their own experience, then it kind of negates the fact. But I really appreciate the show. I listen faithfully every Saturday, and I'm glad that you're here. So,
well, thank you, Kate. Well, let me ask you this now: you're out of it, but your son, he wants to be a witness. I mean, you still go to the meetings or what?
I don't. I left in 2020 during the beginning of the Zoom era, and it was, like everyone else, it was a shocker. It tore my life apart. But I had a friend who kind of reeled me in, made me organize my mindset, and I found you and others, and my life has been great ever since.
Well, it does make a difference when you can talk to other people of like kind. Now, that hasn't always been that way, Tate. That always hasn't been that way. Years ago, before the internet, when people were disfellowshipped, I had a friend, there was this fellowship back in the late 80s, mid to late 80s, a little before the internet. And he thought he was one of the only people ever to become an apostate. But boy, I'll tell you, when the internet came out, there's so many of us out there. It's unbelievable,
Right. And there's a lot more over here in the Los Angeles area. I can tell you this, back in 2000, maybe 14, 15, I went with another, I went to a restaurant with another brother and a friend of mine. And at the time, I was faithful witness. And this elder was telling my buddy and I some crazy things that I've never heard before. And, he soon passed away after that. But now that I'm in this position, I now know what he was talking about. And he may have been physically and mentally out at that time, although he was an elder. So now that I've been out, there's been a number of people in the Los Angeles area that's coming out, but they don't come out verbally. They just leave, and you never, you have to find out from this person and that person and that person that this person has left. So.
Oh, so many people. Yeah. So many people.
Thank you for all you do, Rick.
Well, thank you very much, Dave. Thank you for calling in. I really appreciate it. And there's so many people right now, even that convention video we played earlier, they're so concerned. There's people in the congregation that don't believe it. They're apostates. They're not loyal anymore. They're starting to speak to the other congregants. And I got to tell you, we're going to have more people leaving here. We get ready. The mass exodus has begun. 906, you're on with us. Go ahead, 906.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Farron. Ken here from Michigan.
Hi, Ken.
I just wanted to, I've been listening to the program here with interest, so I'm not going to comment too much because the topics were all covered pretty well here. So, but I just want to wish all the Six Screens people and everybody, is for that matter, a happy belated Mother's Day. And if I don't make a call before, we wish all the men happy Father's Day and so forth. And then the third reason I'm calling is on the 27th, the USA is going to be having a Memorial Day here, and I want to wish all the veterans and so forth a happy Memorial Day, something you'll never hear from the Watchtower. And yeah, the news is getting worse and worse regarding the Watchtower. As I've said in previous conversations, the world of organized religion is getting more corrupt, more violent, more sadistical as days go on. And as the statistics show here, that not only the Watchtower, but other religions are losing ground through and through. So everybody just keep the vigil light burning and hang in there. And we'll talk to you again sometime. So God bless and be with you all.
Well, thank you, Ken. You're a source of encouragement. Keep staying, Ken. We love you, Ken. Thank you. Yeah, so things are going on. Yeah, go ahead, Kurt.
Yeah, that was a good comment by Ken. Real quickly here, I'm just a little bit amazed at the number of callers on your program today and new callers. And I never counted, but there might have been so far maybe a half a dozen or more new callers. I think that's fascinating. Also, Pixie, I want to say to Pixie, I miss her commenting as much. I heard her speak earlier about her phone service. And also, one last thing, Brian, Larry Wayne, and Zachary, I haven't heard them for a while, so I wanted to mention them. Just haven't heard them. Anyway, thank you for taking my call. Thanks, Rick.
Well, you're welcome, Kurt. Well, we're going to play our game. We have that trivia game, that duck game, we call it. And Zachary usually comes in on that. So when we play that in a few minutes, he'll probably be coming in. But that's Kurt down there in West Virginia. And you guys ever hear the Hatfield and the McCoys? You know, that family feud that's been going on for, I don't know, years and decades, I guess. Well, that's Kurt. He's a Hatfield. And yeah, from the Hatfield and McCoys. So always glad to hear from Kurt. Yeah, so things, well, let me tell you, things really, did you want to say something, Kurt? JP, JP, yeah, go ahead, JP.
Yes, I just wanted to let you know that brother that was calling in just a minute ago from Los Angeles, I'm an hour north of Los Angeles in Palmdale, and he could call me if he wants to because we have meetups and other gatherings and things for XJWs.
Yeah, in fact, I'll
So
mention
I could send my number over the air. Is that okay?
I mean, if you want to, I mean, you just don't know. I mean, you might get a lot of calls. I mean, it's up to you, you know?
Well, maybe you're right, but then he could, then I guess he could email you at JW World News.
Yeah, he can email me. His name is Tate. Tate, email me at jwworldnews@gmail.com. I'll give you JP's telephone number. You can call him. And geez, around your age, probably you guys could meet up and have a good time. Thank you, JP.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Zachary. I think that's Zachary. Zach, someone's looking for you tonight. Curtis.
Kurt put out the call. I do try to contribute, not just during the duck game, but I try to contribute when I have something to contribute. Frankly, I did want to contribute earlier something, but I thought that it might be too volatile. Okay, that's all.
Good. Zachary, I just want to tell you, I always love to hear you talk. I love your comments. So thank you.
Thank you, Kurt. I like yours too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, maybe what we'll do is we'll go to our duck game. Well, we still have a lot of people in here. We have a trivia game that we play here every Saturday night for the most part. And you can win some game. You can win some books. We get some beautiful books. We want to thank Nathan Nadis. Well, his real name is Jim Hill. He lives out there in Seattle, Washington. And he's nice enough. He gives us these publications, republications, Lulu books, all about the Watchtower. For example, Millions Now Living Will Never Die. I don't have some in front of me, folks. We moved and I got them in the other room. I should have had them ready to show you. But we have a number of books that are old Watchtower publications. and for the most part. We also have some, Don Cameron's book, Captive of Concept. So we have some books here I'd like to give away. You play the game. We call it the duck game. It's Watchtower trivia. And what you do is you keep score yourself. I'm not going to keep score for you. You'll be on the honor system. You get a point for each question you answer. When you get 5 points, you can get a book. I'll mail it to you. When you get 12 points, whoever gets 12 points first gets $100 in cash. And I'll send that to you. So bear that in mind. We're going to play the game. Now, what we do is we play some music, the Jeopardy music. And when the music stops, you will answer. But please don't answer before the music stops. Now, what I want you to do is pick a number from 1 to 100. And for example, number 6. So when I say, what's the answer? Say 6 or 10 or 12. And then I can kind of decipher who it is. Because if not, everyone speaks up at once and it's hard to really know who was first. So pick a number from 1 to 100. And that would be good. What's that? Yeah. All right. So hang in here. We're going to play the game. We got a lot of people online with us right now. So let me just make sure the music is up. Give me 1 second here. And let me just go back. All right. Hold on 1 second. I did have it. Let's go back. All right. All right. So what we'll do, let's ask the first question. The first question we're going to ask tonight. Okay. When looking east out of the windows at the world headquarters, which used to be 25 Columbia Heights in New York City, it was in Brooklyn, New York. Can someone name one of the 2 landmarks that you would see? This would be looking out of the old Watchtower headquarters, looking east. What would be one of the 2 landmarks? If you name the 2 landmarks, I'll give you 2 points. Don't answer till the music stops. Hold on. Okay, who can name one of the
44.
I think I heard 25 first. 25, go ahead. So looking east.
Did you hear 55?
I think it was 55, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, that would be the Statue of Liberty and the Empire State Building.
No, I think that'd be looking, I think north. Zachary probably knows. I think that would be looking north, but good try. So what are the landmarks looking east?
7.
7, go ahead.
I don't know if you meant Watchtower landmarks. I was going to say the sign that says "Read the Bible Daily."
No, good guess though. Good guess, Stefan. Who would like to?
44.
44, go ahead.
Do you have me on mute or something?
Well, wait a minute. No,
I've been saying 3 over and over again.
I haven't heard it. You must have been
cheating.
No, I'm not. So let's go with I know you know, Zach. Let's go with 44. Let's see if 44 can guess it. Go ahead.
I don't know if I know.
Go ahead, 44.
The Brooklyn Bridge. The Brooklyn Bridge, one of them.
Yeah, it is. You get
3.
a point. You get a point for that.
3.
And how about? I'll go with the Verrazano Narrows Bridge as well.
It could be that, but it's not. It could be that. 3. Go ahead. 3.
No.
What's the other?
The Brooklyn Bridge and the Manhattan Bridge.
It would be the Manhattan too, but it's not.
The Brooklyn Bridge and the Manhattan Bridge.
I'm not going with it. It's not the answer I have, but it would be that too. I suppose you could take it, but I'm not.
83.
83. What is it?
If the Brooklyn Bridge is right, then the Manhattan Bridge is right too.
Well, no, it would be. It would be, but it's.
You can't do it.
But I mean, but this is a real landmark. I mean, we could talk about landmarks all night, but this is a real landmark. Go ahead. I'll give you a clue. I'll give you a clue. All right, I'll give you a clue. 83.
I got something to say.
Well, go ahead, Dallas.
United Nations.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dallas. I didn't have that on my list, but something that would be east. That would be east, but it's not what I got.
No, that's not. No, that's not.
It's not.
The United Nations is not east of the Watchtower. The Watchtower is in Brooklyn. To see the United Nations, you would have to look west, across the East River, into Manhattan. The East River is called the East River because it's east of Manhattan. It's west of Brooklyn. You'd have to look across that river to see the United Nations, and you'd have to look a little bit going, north, so a little northeast. That's not an answer.
Well, wait a minute. I might be mixed up, Zachary. Maybe.
United Nations is not the answer.
Well, maybe I get the maybe I messed.
It's not east of headquarters.
Huh? I might be. Hey, listen.
Manhattan Bridge is east.
All right. So the question was 2 landmarks looking east from 25 Columbia Heights. So would the Brooklyn Bridge would be looking east, right?
Right.
Well, isn't the United Nations?
The Manhattan Bridge. They come down. The Brooklyn Bridge and the Manhattan Bridge, when they come down, they converge almost like a V.
All right.
The Watchtower factories are right in the middle of both of them, with their exits.
Well, now you got me confused.
Rick, can I take a guess?
Take a guess, JP.
Is it the Twin Towers and the rising sun from the east? Oh, very conspiratorial.
No.
The Twin Towers are west. They're in Manhattan. Manhattan's west of Brooklyn.
Well,
As a guess, yeah.
Well, hold on, Zach. You're getting me totally confused. Totally confused. So you're saying
I
that?
didn't confuse you. I'm not the one confusing you.
Well, I've been to New York many a times, and the United Nations is east of Brooklyn, not west.
No, it's not.
It's not?
The United Nations is in Manhattan. Manhattan's west of Brooklyn.
All right. Well, anyways, what I was looking.
Let me check the signs and make sure this is not an argumentative night.
Okay. All right. Let's drop this one. It's a little confusing. All right.
I think I agree with the Brooklyn Bridge, and the Manhattan Bridge converges right with the Brooklyn Bridge.
All right.
Those are the answers. Brooklyn Bridge and Manhattan Bridge. I don't know what other landmark you're talking about.
All right.
Brooklyn City Hall?
No, the other landmark was the East River. That was the other landmark.
No, the East River is west of Brooklyn. It's the east. It's on the east part of Manhattan. That's why it's called the East River. Manhattan's the big deal. And so you go across the East River, which is east of Manhattan, and you end up in Brooklyn. So that means the East River is west of Brooklyn. You have to go west to get to Manhattan. And the East River is right there that you have to cross over. That's west of Brooklyn.
All right, I'm gonna look on a map.
I don't think rivers are landmarks.
Well, okay, we're gonna drop that question.
I think he's talking about the Raymond Franz bronze statue right in front of the East River.
Yeah. Well, we'll let that one go. Zachary probably knows this one.
Look, I think you're cheating.
I got to look at it.
I gave a point for the Brooklyn Bridge. So I get my point for the Manhattan Bridge.
Well, I'll give you a point for the. No, well, I suppose I could. I'll give you a point for that. I'll give you a point. But what I want to say,
I worked in building 2.
But
go ahead.
But I'm going to have
in building 2 of the factory complex. The factory complex is east of headquarters. You have to walk east of headquarters to get to the factory complex. And the Manhattan Bridge comes down right there. It was outside the window I worked in.
I got to get a Rand McNally map. I got to get my map out because I'm confused. I've been to New York plenty of times. I had a compass in the car.
Wait, Rick, let me ask you: Is the answer the East River? Is that what you're looking for?
That's what I didn't make that up. I took that off of
Oh, no, that's
a reputable site. So that's why.
West.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
All right, we'll let it go. Then drop it.
Governor's Island.
All right, let's drop it. Let's drop that question. Let's not beat. All right, let's not beat it to death. If you say it, Zach, I believe it. But I'm going to check.
Rick, I think you need to accept.
I'll apologize next week. I'm going to look at my Rand McNally if I can find it. All right.
Do we need to have a personal phone call this week?
I think that should get a point for working in the factory.
No, in the factory, which was east of headquarters, and the bridge, Manhattan Bridge, went right outside the factory. In fact, one of the buildings are basically, they look like they were cut to fit the Manhattan Bridge.
All right, we're going to drop that. Let's
I'm
move
not
on.
making it up.
I know you're not, but
Do I get my point for the Manhattan Bridge?
I'll give you a point. Take a point for Manhattan Bridge. But I'm going to look at. But if I look on the Rand McNally tomorrow, we'll adjust it next week. Take it for now. All right. So a popular.
But do I get my point for the Brooklyn Bridge?
Oh, yes, you do. Take your point. Yep. All right. So let's take a look here. So
my
we got.
answer was supposed to be Brooklyn and Manhattan.
All right.
Go
So
ahead,
let's
sorry.
go to the next one. What popular cartoon program were Jehovah's Witness children not allowed to watch in 80s and early 90s? Don't answer till when the music stops. Hold on. All right. What cartoon?
17.
I'll go with 17. 17.
I'm 17.
Yeah, go ahead, 17.
The Smurfs.
The Smurfs. Who was this?
Keith.
Oh, Keith. All right. All right, Keith. Take a point. You got it. You got the Smurfs. That's right. Good job.
All right.
Good job. So take a point, and Keith, you're on the honor system. So go ahead and keep that point. That point could be worth $100. Keep moving forward. All right.
That's wrong. I thought it was Casper the Friendly Ghost. I think that was a decade earlier.
Yeah.
Hey, Rick, can I name at least two other cartoons that were banned by the state?
What were they?
One of them was Scooby Doo because they were all ghost hunters, and then also I think G.I. Joe.
I think G.I. Joe was. Yeah, I heard that before, PJ. All right, let's go to another one. All right, rumors. These are the classification of rumors. Are they true or false? Now, a Jehovah's Witness could be counseled for, this will be a multiple choice. A Jehovah's Witness could be counseled for eating Lucky Charms, not shaving after 2 days, for opening a bag of Doritos while in service. Don't answer to when the music stops. All right. I'll give you.
3, 5, 7, 3, 7.
I heard, did someone say 85? Did someone? Hold on.
55.
I think, okay, 55, I think, was first. 55 was first. And so anyways, I'll reiterate the question once again.
All of the above.
Well, you could, in fact, it's a known fact. You could be counseled for eating Lucky Charms. You could be counseled for not shaving after 2 days, but you could not be counseled for opening a bag of Doritos while out in service. You could not be. So you didn't get the 3 of them. I'm sorry. Number 55s. All right. Well, wait a
Give
minute.
anyone else a
Well, wait
chance to
wait
answer.
well wait a minute. We did. All right. Well,
What's going on
well,
here?
okay. Well, I'll give you this one, Zach, and we don't have to play the music. Someone ring out a number. Could you be counseled for wearing white socks while passing the microphone? Could you be counseled for that?
44.
44. What do you think?
7. Yes.
Yeah, you actually could be counseled for wearing white socks passing the microphone. That's true. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Based on what scripture?
Well, I don't. Nothing's based on scripture.
No, based on what scripture?
Well, not.
Making this up now. Come on
Shepherd
now.
the flock of God is an inspired document.
No.
It's not in Shepherd the flock of God. That's not in Shepherd the flock
Well, it
of
doesn't
God.
say anywhere you have to have a white shirt, but that kept you off the stage.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. You're making up stuff.
Well,
you could wear a blue shirt. You could. No, you're making up stuff.
You can
now.
wear a white shirt, a blue shirt, and
Well-
a long sleeve.
Well, hold on. See, Zach, what?
Let me tell you that
Imagine if that was the truth. Can you imagine Jesus counseling you on it? You went to heaven and Jesus says, "Why were you wearing white socks while passing a microphone? That's a sin."
Well, see, Zachary's taking the.
you're making up stuff now.
Zachary's taking this to the end.
See,
Well, and everybody's talking. Everybody's talking at once. Hey, listen. Come on. Let's just.
game is now jumping the start.
No.
Sorry.
Let's all. We can't all talk over each other. But what I'm saying here, Zachary's taking this to the nth degree. Now, counseling doesn't mean a judicial committee hearing, but could you be talked to? Could you be talked to for wearing white socks passing the microphone? And the answer is yes. This has happened. So let's stay on this rumors. I think you guys like this. All right. So let's stay on.
They called it encouragement.
So let's go with this. Don't answer till the music stops.
Someone in the comments, Rick, I want to comment on one of the comments. Somebody said just because it never happened to you, Zach, doesn't mean it's BS. I've never was counseled for that. Neither was anyone I knew ever counseled for that. And I'm talking about a lot of years. Okay, that's all. Go ahead, Rick.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, I knew a brother that was counseled for wearing a certain cologne. Seriously. In fact, almost disfellowship for it. He liked a certain cologne.
I'm with you when you say about them, somebody telling them about their cologne, but the disfellowshipping, no, I don't believe that. It might have been cheap, smelly, bad perfume or cologne.
Well, probably the television commercial is too provocative, so I shouldn't be wearing that cologne.
Okay, if we're making things up, that's fine. Go ahead.
Well, no, the reason is there was his sisters, and he was sitting near them, and the cologne was making them sick. So they counseled him, and he kept wearing it, and they actually brought him back and told him if he kept wearing it because they were getting sick, that they were going to disfellowship him. And he was a full-time pioneer. That's a fact. I know that for a fact. All right.
I don't believe it. I don't believe they were going to disfellowship somebody. I don't believe that. You can't fool me like that.
Well, boy, I mean,
you really can't.
Would
Go ahead, move on.
Would I lie to you, Zach? Really? All right.
I think sometimes you would for fun.
No, I wouldn't. Okay. All right. So let's go with this one then. And as a matter of fact, we'll just kind of rattle these on. We won't even go with the music for now. I'm just going to rattle these out. Give me a number. Could you be counseled for taking notes on a legal pad? Could you be counseled for that? 3. Go ahead.
No.
That's true. No, that's false. Right. Take a point, Zach. Take a point. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Here's one here. Could you be counseled for hugging your wife during a prayer?
17.
3.
17. 17, go ahead.
Yes, yes, you could. You could be counseled for holding hands during prayer.
That's-
It happened to me.
That's true.
Counsel for holding hands?
Yes.
Do you know at Bethel, all the couples hold hands during prayer?
That's so silly.
As soon as the prayer comes, they all hold hands. 99% of them.
Well, no, you could. In fact,
Hey, Rick, I was going to say something real quick.
yeah. What were you going to say, JP?
Yeah, about the perfume thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, about the perfume thing. That is true. I've never heard of anybody being disfellowshipped over it, but when I was in a congregation at one time,
What
there
happened?
were some sisters that had very severe reactions to perfume and other stuff. So on the local needs one time, they told all of us that we shouldn't wear any kind of, even like deodorant or stuff like that, going to meetings and aftershave and other things like that. And I don't think it was an issue, but I'm sure that, you know, if somebody was wearing a cologne or perfume and they went against what was ordered in that hall and that local needs, that they would have been counseled, and if they would have continually disobeyed that, they possibly could have been disfellowshipped because they could
No,
have said
that's not a disfellowshipping offense. Guys, you're making stuff up now. That's not a disfellowshipping offense. Nowhere in that book does the same thing about perfume.
Zach, I'm just saying what was in the local news at my hall. I don't know if it was a disfellowshipping offense, and like I said before, I've never heard of anybody getting disfellowship for it, but they did say that in the local needs, and other people did get counseled after that, but I don't know if anybody took it further to where, but eventually if somebody, you know, if you're in a congregation and the elders give a direction and you keep disobeying it, they will disfellowship you for just, for causing divisions or other stuff. So yeah, Zach, they will do that. It doesn't have to say in the book. They'll just say you're
Wait a
causing
minute.
division.
Wait, stick to the perfume. Don't you start broadening it and it becomes fuzzy. Stick to the idea of getting disfellowship of wearing perfume or cologne. Stick to that. That's how you make things clear. Okay, go ahead, Britt.
All right. So here's the next one.
Go ahead, somebody else. I'm shutting up.
All right. So here we go. Let's ask this question. Could you be counseled for? Now, this isn't, a judicial committee hearing, but just counseled. You might get a tap on the back from an elder. Hey, brother or sister, he did this. So counseled for. So could you be counseled for wearing bright nail polish as a Jehovah's Witness teenager? Could you be counseled for that?
3.
Go ahead.
Yes, true. 7.
3.
4.
I'll go with
Still doing the numbers?
the numbers. Yeah. I'll
Wait,
go.
You just now said 3 yourself.
I'll go with 3.
Rick. Yes, you can. Yes, you could be counseled for anything that is extra bright. It used to be that there was counsel for clothes that, the term used was loud colors. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got it. Take a point. Geez, you're climbing the ladder there.
But it's not in the elders manual.
Right. You're right, JP.
I didn't say it was.
All right, Zach.
It's in the Awake magazine.
So you're batting good, Zach. Let's go with this. Could you be counseled for writing? Could you be counseled for writing or making changes on the information board?
Yeah.
What kind of change?
44. 7.
Who's 44?
44.
44. Go ahead, 44.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she could in our hall.
Tell us about the information board. Why don't they call it bulletin board?
Yeah, the information board, at least when I was there.
Yeah.
But yeah, anytime there was any change, it had to, that page was removed and was replaced with another typed page.
Right. You're absolutely right.
So wait a minute. So the answer is yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. You know what I heard? The reason why they didn't use the term bulletin board and you had to say information board, because somebody corrected me one time because I said bulletin board. is I think it's because there's a Catholic newsletter called The Bull, and that kind of develops into the word bulletin. And so that's why, what I was told as to why you shouldn't use the term bulletin board and instead information board.
Well, that's a good then. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. That makes sense. All right, let's go with this one. Who can name 4 colors that the New World Translation was printed in? 4 colors. Who wants to take a shot at it?
Three.
Number 3, go ahead.
44.
It was green, black, brown. Let me do it again. Green, black, brown, and gray or silver.
Okay, I'm gonna give that to you. Now someone can name another color that wasn't
44.
83.
44.
44. Go ahead. 44. Go ahead.
I had a maroon version.
You got it. Maroon. Yeah. So take a point, brother. 44. Yep. All right. Okay. All right. We'll do one more, then we'll have to end the game. All right. How about the Kingdom Interlinear? And it was printed in 2 colors. So who would like to name the 2 colors? The interlinear. 44. Go ahead.
7. 3.
44. 44 was first.
The purple and black.
No.
The purple and black.
No. Let's go to the next one. It wasn't. It was number 7. Stefan. 7. Go ahead, Stefan.
I'm going to go with blue and black.
No. No. What colors was the 17? 17. Go ahead.
Purple and green.
No. No. I really thought
3.
Go ahead, Zach. Go ahead.
3.
Go ahead, Zach.
Purple.
Yeah.
Purple and blue.
No.
Thank you.
No. Was there a sister on there? Sister, go ahead.
No.
Yeah, no, it's me. Well, Rick, we have one that's purple and blue. We have 2, and I think the blue one was from Mexico. So I don't know if it's just regional or whatever, but there is a purple and a blue.
So who said purple and blue?
Yes, I have the blue one. That's it.
Who said
Number 3.
Who said purple and
blue?
You
That's
said.
it. I did.
All right. All right.
I said purple and blue.
All right. Well, I'm gonna. Okay. So Zach, we'll give you that point. But can someone name a nickname? Now, you guys keep your hands over your receiver. Let's try to keep it nice and down so we can hear you good. Can someone name a nickname for the purple interlinear? Nobody knows that nickname? The purple people eater.
3.
You never heard of that? The purple people eater. That's what they called it. Yeah.
Somebody just now called out a number. Somebody said 7 first. You didn't give them a chance to answer.
Well, because I didn't.
Easy on the phone.
No, it's not. It's not easy to listen to all of this. I mean, everyone's talking at once, so it's hard to hear everything. So, all right.
But we were all silent. Rick, you're in the game now too, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, that's why we usually play the. All right. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna give 2 points. I'm gonna give 2 points for this. It's still on the interlinear. Can someone tell me why someone's got a lot of noise going there in the background.
Wait, there's a lot of noise I can't hear.
No, someone's got a lot of noise. They got to really help me here a little bit. Really stop shuffling papers and stuff around. I was never doing that because you can really pick up. I want it nice and clear. I'm going to give you 2 points. Can someone tell me why they changed or didn't print the purple one? They went to blue. Why? Can someone tell me that? I'm surprised you guys don't. Zach, I thought you'd know. Go ahead, Zach.
Okay, I want to make a joke because purple is a loud color. No. Something about the person who was used to help with the translation of the purple.
All right, but you got to tell me who that person was. He was a Greek scholar.
Somebody Grieber.
No, I'll give you his first name. He was a Greek scholar. They mistranslated what he said. Well, they not mistranslated, but they put things in there that he didn't say. And he was going to sue the Watchtower. So they had to drop the purple version and they printed the dark blue. His first name was Julius. Someone give me his last name, please.
Julius Irving.
No,
Singer.
I'm really surprised, man. I'm telling you, I thought Zachary would have known this, like heads up on that one.
I don't.
Julius Manti. Julius Manti. All right. Well, anyways, that's good. So, Jack, how many points you got?
I don't know.
All right.
I got a few tonight.
Well, I got you down here for at least 2. I'm only kidding.
That is correct. At least 2.
You got it.
So it can be anywhere from 3 to a couple of hundred.
Well, you're a good sport, Zach. You're a good sport. Well, thank you all for playing the game. And friends, I have to tell you, I want to keep reiterating the Watchtower is falling. And we are going to see, Kurt came on tonight. He mentioned all the new people calling in. And we're getting that. And what is causing that? All the new people coming in on Reddit, all the people on JWN, all the people doing the YouTube. This is all working. All of this activism is working. So we want to thank all of you guys for calling in. And that's even being an activist right there. Because when people hear you guys, it solidifies. It really solidifies the program. And it says, that's not just Farron sitting there making things up. We've got a lot of people that are listening in and a lot of people calling in, and it's making the program really interesting. And I want to thank you all of you guys that call in. Thank you very much for doing that. So, friends, I want you to keep standing tall. I never want you to give in, up, or out. I want you to keep waving the flag of victory. I don't ever want your visions to die. And the last one, leaving the Watchtower, by all means, turn off the new light. Eric will not be on tonight. He got married 2 weeks ago. He'll be back with us in 2 weeks. We have Dick and Constance to be on next week with us. Friends, have a good Memorial Day weekend. And I thank you very much for coming in to the 6 Screens Telenetwork. Appreciate it. Bye now.